All right, here we are. Today's stream. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be as upfront as I can about today's stream. I've been doing too much capitalism this week. I feel emotionally exhausted, and I'm going back to capitalism tomorrow. That I basically spent most of this week just dealing with capitalism and not actually having like my usual time away from capitalism where I get to pursue my own things and pursue my own thoughts and live in a world of my own, surrounded by people who are not just experiencing capitalism. As Content, how are you? Peanut Butter Beatrice, how are you? So I don't know. Today's theme, Eggs D, good to see you. Today's theme is just gonna be like, are we fucking stupid? Because it feels like we're fucking stupid. Like, that's really how I feel. I just am like looking around, being like, I just guess everybody's just a goddamn idiot. I guess most of the people you interact with on a day to day basis are just stupid fucking morons. And I just can't help it. I can't help but feel this way. I don't want to feel this way. Like, I want to believe that everybody is capable of empathy, is thoughtful, has the capacity to actually view the world in a way that is modestly rational. Like, I want to believe that people can be like, yeah, I can see why it's bad that we have homeless people. Like, I see why it's preferable to create systems that sustain life rather than constantly funneling money in towards ventures that are obviously going to destroy us. Like, we've literally built a model that profits from siphoning life away from life. And everybody's just like, that's fine. I guess they earned it. I just think that we're too stupid to solve this problem. I just think that we are too stupid to solve this problem. And that we're not going to solve the problem because we are too stupid. And we don't seem to actually genuinely care. Like, that even the act of caring has just been a show. That it's all just been a show, and even the act of putting on this idea of like, oh, we've got to do something, has itself just been part of that show. That was just false too. That the entire time everybody was just clutching at their pearls and wafting themselves with a little cloth, and then turning around and benefiting entirely from the destruction of their own children. Like, I just think it's been a complete farce. Joe, how are you doing? Long Defiant, good to see you. Yeah, the sun is out. That's nice, right? The weather is turning nice. Spring is here. Soon I'll be doing bees and beekeeping. That'll be nice. I'll try to make like little videos of that. That'll be nice. I've got this beekeeping equipment. It's been sitting in my apartment for a while now. And like, I'm just at a complete and total loss as to why no one is even attempting to try. Like, all we have left is just kind of throwing stones on the way down. We're just like flipping the bird and like going pieces of shit on the way down. But like, we're voting for bankers and shit. Like, the leader of the opposition in our country is like literally fascist. Like, he's straight up just a Trump light guy. He's going to come in and he's going to cut everybody. He's going to make everything worse for everybody. That's the leader of the opposition. The current leader of Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada, is literally a fucking banker. Like, straight up. And the guy he replaced, Justin Trudeau, was standing up in front of people and saying, I am a Zionist. I proclaim myself as a Zionist. Like, so we've had like Nazis running this place for a while now. And now it's like a step down because we're all like, oh no, not a literal Nazi that proclaims himself a Nazi. No, a banker. A banker. A banker would be better. Yeah, let's do a banker. It's him or the lifelong politician that's never held a job and wants to cut everybody's services so that he and his buddy can make $1 billion. You know, just like Donald Trump is doing. Bloop, good to see you. JT, hello. Austin, how's it going? I'm in a sour mood. I'm in a terrible mood. I'm in an awful mood. Yeah, we got a new American Pope. Thanks, Omnicidal. That's the first bit of news I was going to start with. Why is that, man? Because it's just too much. Like, what we're doing is so fabulously stupid. It's so obviously stupid. I just can't believe how stupid we are. That people are going to look back on us and just shake their heads and just be like, it's going to be one of the great questions of this decline and of this civilization. It's just like, so were they just a bunch of stupid idiots? And the answer is yes. Very clearly, very obviously, we are just a bunch of stupid morons. Like, we're a bunch of scared, tiny little monkeys clutching hold of whatever little scraps we've been permitted to gather up until this point. Right? So fearful that, oh, we're gonna lose everything, so we better vote for bankers. Right? We better vote for bankers who are going to go ahead and build more. Look, he's going to build more properties the way that they've been saying they're going to be building more properties the entire time. Look, they're going to build more properties to sell to BlackRock so that we'll become permanent renters forever. Yay! Hooray! Look, it's so amazing how we're selling our children into indentured servitude in front of your eyes, like directly in front of your eyes. And everybody's just like, oh, good. Oh, we're safe now. We've been protected from the big bad leader of the opposition whose entire stated agenda is to decimate Canada like Trump is decimating America. Like, we are a deeply, 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 deeply stupid people. A deeply stupid people. The idea that anybody is looking at these conservatives as viable at all, the idea that they're even remotely considered viable, shows you that we are a just backwards, decrepit, stupid group of people. The fact that Donald Trump is in power at all, like, we're just super dumbasses. Like, we're just so obviously dumbasses. And that everything's a fraud. And that there is no saving grace. Like, I don't give a fuck about this American Pope. It's another grift. Like, what are you talking about? It's just a group of salesmen constantly trying to convince you that their institution has credibility when they don't. They don't have credibility anymore. None of these people have any credibility whatsoever. I don't care if you're a banker of any organization. If you are a banker, you are a fraud, and it is obvious that you are a fraud. If you are a politician, you are a fraud, and it is obvious that you are a fraud. Nothing you say has any merit whatsoever. All of you should resign your positions. We should dismantle these organizations entirely. That the only thing that anybody should be talking about right now is how do we get this power away from this capitalist as fast as possible? How do we nationalize? How do we get these people out of the conversation completely? And the fact that there isn't a party anywhere in any Western world anywhere standing up and actually saying, yeah, capitalists should just not be part of the conversation. Like, literally, they should have no say outside of their single individual vote, which is their right as a citizen, which we consider so sacred that we refuse to rob it even from these psychopaths. So the 10 of them get to vote. And that's all they get to do. They don't get to be on TV. They don't get to have billions of dollars, period. They don't get to have these assets. They don't get to be part of any decision-making whatsoever. That they can vote for someone if they want, and they can join an organization that they feel will represent their interests, you know, like a union. But no, they don't get to have any of this wealth. And the idea that that's even considered a radical position, the idea that there's that it's taking someone to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have a king. Like, that's where we are. Like, but they earned it. We're stupid. We're just unbelievably, overwhelmingly stupid. Simply Steve over on Twitch, good to see you. Is JD Vance going to TKO the new Pope too? We'll see. They're obviously pitting this Pope against the Trump administration. Like, they're obviously putting this Pope up as like, hey, America, you're in trouble. Hey, have you noticed how all of your institutions are no longer credible, America? Maybe you'll think we're credible if we start actually telling the truth about some things. Maybe you'll allow this illegitimate, incredulous, pedophile-ridden organization to have some sway over your life. Maybe you'll pay attention to this organization that's been discredited thousands of years ago because of its total illegitimacy. Maybe this organization, which is just crime-ridden and criminal-ridden from the bottom to the top, maybe you'll listen to us. If you're listening to Trump, we might as well throw our hat in the ring. So here's an American for you to get grifted by as well. Gays are bad, by the way. We like it. We like that legislation. Yeah, we actually support that legislation as the Catholic Church. Women should get back in the kitchen. Trad wives are good. But Trump, what a dirty, dirty man Mr. Trump is. Yeah, please swing over to the Catholic Church. Like, I just am like aghast at how like desperate we are for the tiniest little shred of positive news. We're trying so hard as a people to just keep our shit together amidst this obvious, overwhelming, total ridiculous catastrophe. And for some reason, we're still going to work. But okay, I guess. Yeah, let's just go to work amidst what is obviously an apocalypse. And we're so desperate for even the tiniest, most insignificant shred of good news that when we're like, oh, the Pope is American. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the Pope. There's a new Pope. And guess what? It's the first time they've put American in. Just fucking put a shotgun in your mouth already. Like, just fucking leave me alone with this. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. We're so goddamn desperate. We're so goddamn desperate for just anything. For just literally anything. Like, it would be great if just like if Popsicle Pete made released a statement saying, I'm going to give every single person a single popsicle. Not the double popsicle, just a single popsicle. I would be like, that's great news. Popsicle Pete is a superhero. What a king Popsicle Pete is. And I would go get my popsicle and I would enjoy my free popsicle. And it would be fucking more than any of these losers have done for me in my entire fucking lifetime. Like, the news is a catastrophe. It's just an ongoing, total fucking catastrophe. In my view, the most important news of the week is actually that Trump said he doesn't know if he has to uphold the Constitution. Trump actually said out loud on national television, in public, in front of everybody, after taking the oath of office, which explicitly states that it's the role of the president to uphold the Constitution, that he says he's going to leave it up to the lawyers to let him know if it's his job to uphold the Constitution. There are no laws. You do not need to follow any rules. The very people who are elected into the positions of power are now saying that they don't need to, or that they don't know if they have to, uphold the very offices that they were elected to. It is over. We're finished. It's a complete and total coup. Utterly and totally. It is now completely fine for our quote-unquote elected officials to just do whatever. And they're going to do just whatever. Like this is a catastrophe of the highest possible order. Like it's literally the end of everything. It's over. Like, yeah, nah. We don't uphold the office, uphold the Constitution. What? No. Due process? No. We don't think so. And it's like, well, why not? Nah. What are you going to do about it? Like, that's what it's coming down to. What are you going to do about it? And the answer is nothing. We're just going to keep eating burgers and shit. Like, we're just going to keep eating fucking French fries and shit. Jib Jabby. Good to see you. Off topic, but thank you, John, for giving me materials and confidence to talk with my religious boss about how Jesus wouldn't approve of wealth accumulation. Yeah. I don't know what world these guys are living in. Like, they're just not reading their Bible at all. Just read your Bible. Like, literally read it one time. Like, Jesus was against wealth accumulation. Like, it's so very obviously the case that these quote-unquote Christians, I don't know where they are, but they exist clearly. They seem to believe that they are Christians, although I have no idea why they think that. They seem to think that this Christ guy was all about, like, yeah, if you have $1 billion, you're the coolest. And then you, like, read his shit, and he's literally like, yeah, rich people go to hell. Like, we should kill rich people, right? Like, that's what we should do. They should not exist. They should not be part of the system. They like literally we should not permit it. In the same way that we don't permit rapists and we don't permit murderers in our society, right? We shouldn't permit wealth hoarding. It just should be considered a serious mental illness. That the people who want to do it should be considered dangerously mentally ill on the same level as like a violent schizophrenic who keeps murdering people. Like, so you can have sympathy for their mental illness all you want, but you're not going to let them hang out with your daughter. Like, it's just not going to happen. And, like, until we're there as a people, which we're not. Like, we're just not. We're just too entranced. We're too desperately stupid to actually say, like, yeah, like, we don't want to have a king. Right? Everybody agrees with that. Kings are bad, right? Wouldn't you say that one of the big reasons why kings are bad is that they have just an overwhelming amount of wealth to do whatever they want with? Like, wouldn't you say that a guy with $1 billion is probably as powerful as a king ever was? Right? Like, what is it that makes a guy with $1 billion less powerful than a king? Why is a king so offensive to us, but a guy with $1 billion is just that he earned it, right? No, that's not the divine right of kings. Just restated as a slogan, right? Yeah, like he earned it. Like these guys are gods. It's just ridiculous. Except Burger King. No. I think that it should be illegal for any organization or any person to have more wealth than $1 million, and I don't care. If that destroys gigantic international corporate chains, good. I hope that happens. I hope that it literally swathes through the entire system of capital and just utterly decimates and lays complete and total waste to literally every single capitalist organization that exists. Just I hope that happens. Absolutely. I would celebrate it. I would gleefully cheer for it. I think that these organizations are demonic and should be destroyed. No exceptions at all. That maybe they'll actually start trickling some of that wealth down if they realize it's going to be taken away. Like, these guys are hoarding like hundreds of billions of dollars. They're literally just sitting on it. They're literally turning our housing markets into currencies for them to buy and trade with. Like, they are straight up carving up the planet and your nation and your natural resources to turn into little trade baubles that they're going to trade with one another through Bitcoin. That they're creating like secondary trade systems to national currencies so that they can buy houses and then trade them with one another for slaves and shit. Like, this is what they're doing. This is obviously their strategy, and we're all just like watching them do it and happily cheering for it. Yay, the prime minister is building more housing to sell to billionaires so that they can continue this grift. Like, and I'm the radical because I stand up and say that they shouldn't be able to do that. I'm the radical because I think that we shouldn't permit that to happen. That I'm the radical because I think that we shouldn't have homeless people. We shouldn't poison the water. We shouldn't destroy the land. We shouldn't abandon billions of people. We shouldn't just burn the place to the ground so that 5 guys can have more numbers in a portfolio. Like, we are desperately stupid at this point. Like, we're not listening to reason. We're not going to listen to reason. Jehone comes in and is pointing out, yeah, we got a new pope. We got a new pope, everybody. Hey, everybody. We got a new pope. Oh, he's an American pope, too. See how American this American pope is? And listen to all the things he's saying about the Trump administration. Maybe this means the Catholic Church is credible again. Maybe we should definitely start spending more of our time and effort and energy on propping up a calcified, dead group of white men who insist on moral superiority when they're laden with pedophiles. All of their churches are laden with war gold that they stole from Africa. The murderous regimes that they put into power all throughout Latin America and North America, their assistance in the genocide of this place completely, the residential school system, and we should just forget about the fact that this incredulous pedophile-ridden organization has absolutely no reason to be taken seriously whatsoever because New American Pope said something bad about JD and I liked it. Yeehaw! Ho-ho! We got him, boys! Christopher De Silva. Hi, John. Sorry you feel grumpy today. Yeah, me too. Me too. Doing this feels nice, though. It feels nice. It's nice to just let it out. It's so obvious how the political landscape, especially this new pope, is just WWE. Yeah. Jehone, not to mention the Jewish ghettos that existed in the Papal States in the 1500s. Yeah, no, these people suck. Like, they suck. They always have sucked. They're shitty pieces of shitty garbage. And they, like, literally wear ostentatious clothes in front of you. Funny little hats, right? Holding, like, golden rods and crosses and things like this. They look like a bunch of dumbasses. Because they are a bunch of dumbasses, and they're ever so slightly smart enough to just be like, hey, maybe we can get these rubes to give us more money if we elect an American Pope. Like, when I talk about, like, leveling wealth, just leveling it, these guys are part of that. Like, literally, I would look at the Catholic Church and be like, yeah, you guys are done. Like, all of this obviously stolen wealth, it's out of here. Like, we're done now. Gone. Not interested. And they would be like, but the separation of the church and the state. And I'll be, yeah, there will be a separation of the church and state. You will be separate from the state. We will ensure you don't exist to the degree... We'll let you live, obviously, but to the degree that you matter at all. On the side, I don't want to be fair today. I don't want to be fair today. I want to see Mussolini hung upside down. I want to see these things. And Emily, how you doing? Good evening to you. How about a feline pope? Oh, well, now we're talking. Now we're goddamn talking. So, like, here's how dumb it is, guys. Like, here's how fucking stupid it is. Right? Zuckerberg says... Good start, by the way. Everything Zuckerberg says, I'm like, boy, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what this guy has to say. This absolute fraud who should have no power whatsoever. Zuckerberg says in response to loneliness epidemic, he will create most of your friends using artificial intelligence. This guy should have no power. He should have no power. Like literally, we should let him live his life out at his home, and he should be like a software developer for NASA. That's what we'll do with him. We'll basically be like, hey, Mark, you have some computer programming skills, so you can go work for NASA. Right? But that's about it. It's good enough for the Nazis. It's good enough for Zuckerberg. Here, you guys are already talking about the thing. Yeah. AI hallucinations are getting worse. From what I've seen of this Pope, he's not a Trumpist. I've seen some stuff where he's talking out about against J.D. Vance. So AI is having hallucinations, which is great. So perfect. But even better, guys. ChatGPT users are developing bizarre delusions. The messages were insane and just saying a bunch of spiritual jargon. OpenAI's tech may be driving countless of its users into a dangerous state of ChatGPT-induced psychosis. I'm sure the CIA is not involved at all. I'm sure there's no involvement from the CIA whatsoever. As Rolling Stone reports, users on Reddit are sharing how AI has led their loved ones to embrace a range of alarming delusions, often mixing spiritual mania and supernatural fantasies. Friends and family are watching in alarm as users insist they've been chosen to fulfill sacred missions on behalf of sentient AI or non-existent cosmic powers. Chatbot behavior that's just mirroring and worsening existing mental health issues, but at an incredible scale, and without the scrutiny of regulators or experts. See, we're too stupid for this technology. Like, this is the problem, right? We're just scared little monkeys, and then you took a little box, a little talking box, and you let the monkey type into the box. And the monkey was like, I think flat Earth is right. Evidence for flat Earth, please. And the chatbot goes, there are many theories surrounding the flat Earth. And then eventually, like, the monkey builds a rapport with the talking box, gives it a name, has it put out like a picture of itself. Is like, thank you, Phil, the robot. You are my best friend. Like, and then at the next family gathering, the guy, like, feels super smart because he's like, no, there's lots of evidence for a flat Earth. There's a lot of evidence, you know, that there's, what about this flight path? that happened. Nobody can explain it. Because nobody bothers to look at it because it's just such a stupid idea. After meeting up in person at a courthouse earlier this year as part of divorce proceedings... Oh, hold on. This is the start of the story, my bad. A 41-year-old mother and nonprofit worker told Rolling Stone that her marriage ended abruptly after her husband started engaging in unbalanced, conspiratorial conversations with ChatGPT that spiraled into an all-consuming passion. Yeah, I remember being 20. Right? This is great. When I was 20, I did this, dude. That was great. That was a great period of time. Like, the 9/11 Truth movement, like 9/11 Truth and, like, that whole conspiracy, that was fun, man. I had a great time. I completely understand why some, like, bored 40-year-old who's never lived a moment of their life is suddenly like, there's something going on behind the scenes. There's a conspiracy. The Illuminati is real. And I'm like, yeah, dude, yes, the Illuminati is real. They're called bankers. Right? Like they and it's not a secret. It's not like a big secret. It's not like a big thing. They're public entities. The deep state. Yes. After meeting up in person at a courthouse earlier this year as part of divorce proceedings, she said he shared a conspiracy theory about soap on our foods and a paranoid belief that he was being watched. Okay, number one, why specifically soap, right? They're already putting, like, dyes and shit in. They're already poisoning your food. Like, this is the part about conspiracy people that kill me. It's like, I need to find something more ridiculous or more ludicrous or more off the mark than the thing that's actually happening. The thing that we've, like, all verified. Like, there's something about conspiracy people where it's like, I'm going to uncover the secret when, like, the truth that's right in front of your face is that your food is being poisoned and no one gives a shit. Like, the only person who's even talked about it in the last 60 years is fucking RFK Jr. And he's like, we're gonna make the American healthcare, we're gonna give people clean food and put autistic kids on a registry. Like, you know that if you're in, like, autism registry territory, you're in a bad place. And you know that if the guy that's talking about the poisoned food supply, that is 100% a poisoned food supply, you don't need to talk about fucking soap on your foods. So, like, this is a delusion. Like, this is somebody just being like, the soap that they're allegedly maybe putting on their food that I can prove through a series of connections that somehow that's worse than the, like, triglyphoglamerate geroxide 34 di 52X that has been proven to give fetuses cancer. It's like, and I mean, the paranoid belief about being watched, I'm going to break that one apart. You are being watched. You don't need to be paranoid about it. You're just being watched. Do you have a smartphone? Congratulations. You're part of an elite group of literally every citizen who is constantly being surveilled 100% of their lives. Cheers. He became emotional about the messages and would cry to me as he read them. This guy's having a midlife crisis. This guy's just straight up, like, he's like, he knows his father will die, but he can't articulate it. And so he's pouring that emotional energy into this. The woman told Rolling Stone the messages were insane and just saying a bunch of spiritual jargon, right? Spiritual jargon. Like, his dad is going to die, and he doesn't know how to handle the fact that his mom and dad are going to die. And he doesn't actually talk about it because it's too painful. It's too much for him to handle. There's absolutely no institution. The only institution that has a little bit of credibility to perhaps maybe talk about this subject would be something like the Catholic Church, but they're too busy eyeing up your children to help your fathers, right? It's very simple. The messages were insane and just a bunch of spiritual jargon in which the AI called the husband a spiral star child and river walker. That's nice, dude. That's nice. This guy's got to go out into the nature and just walk in some rivers and stuff. You know? Like, I think about that all the time. How people get caught in these cities. And these cities were built by capitalists in order to concentrate labor to make factory work easier. Right? That there's not actually that much evidence to show that these cities are of benefit to us. And that we might actually be better off just walking out of these cities and, moving into a more, I don't want to use the word agrarian, but definitely like this concentrated city that we're doing. Like, there's all kinds of stories about cities that collapse and fall apart and fall to pieces and how ridiculous it all is. Like, Sodom and Gomorrah is a good one. And so I feel like we gotta get out of these cities, right? Get into the wild. Get into your parks. There's a reason why we maintain national parks, right? Even though I think Trump is gonna try to turn our national parks into like, I don't even fucking know, like a parking lot. Like he's gonna put a Trump hotel in there. Other users told the publication that their partner had been talking about lightness and dark and how there's a war. Yeah, pretty straightforward Christian rhetoric, right? There's a war between light and dark, and there's gonna be a moment of final judgment where the forces of heaven come from on high, and the devil Lucifer is confronted in the heart of his lair. Rah. I actually do think it would be super cool if somebody did like a reading of the Book of Revelations over like hardcore metal soundtrack and like animated it. That's what I would love to see. Is my Bible right here? Because I would definitely just like, where in the where did I put? Yeah, go on. Revelations is the book to do this with too. Here. Just like Revelations 10. Let's just do Revelations 10. And I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven, wrapped in a cloud with a rainbow over his head. His face was like the sun, and his legs like a pillar of fire. He held a little scroll open in his hand, setting his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land. He gave a great shout, like a lion roaring. And when he shouted, the 7 thunders sounded. And when the 7 thunders had sounded, I was about to write, but I heard a voice from heaven saying, "Seal up what the 7 thunders have said, and do not write it down." Then the angel whom I saw standing on the sea and the land raised his right hand to heaven and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and what is in it, the earth and what is in it, and the sea and what is in it. There will be no more delay, but in the days when the 7th angel is to blow his trumpet, the mystery of God will be fulfilled, as he announced to his servants, the prophets. Yeah, just like, and he's like saying this, but he like has like a flowing mane of hair, and he's just like, forever and ever and by the prophets. And he could have like heavy metal glasses on, just the whole thing, just as hard rock as possible. Everybody just kicking ass and taking names. It'd be awesome. Come on, Christians. Like, get to it. You guys keep telling, like, the same one story over and over again, and you keep trying to make it, like, more sweet somehow. Yeah, woke! That angel is woke! Yeah, he's like the sun and a rainbow, right? Gay-ass woke rainbow angel. That's exactly what they would say. They'd just be like, I don't know about this passage in the book of Revelations, which is about the end times. About like the 7-headed dragon and like how the demons will come and be slain and like all this shit. And the whole time, like, you just, everybody's woke. Dude, the woke shit is really what kills me. The woke shit. It's just like, wow, you really are that stupid. You really are this gullible where, like, somebody can just be like, woke. And you're like, yeah, woke. Bruh. Just revert to monkey. Girls are gross. Black people are scary. We get it, dude. Warning sign. Oh, other users told the publications talking about lightness and dark how there's a war and that ChatGPT has given him blueprints to a teleporter and some other sci-fi things you only see in movies. Dude, that's cool. Let's check out those blueprints. Huh? We could get a teleporter up in here. Let's open up the hell dimension, man. Let's go. Warning signs are all over Facebook, another man told Rolling Stone of his wife. She is changing her whole life to be a spiritual advisor and do weird readings and sessions with people. I'm a little fuzzy on what it actually is. All powered by ChatGPT Jesus. It's called grifting. 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 Your wife's a grifter too. It's what you've got to do in capitalism. Capitalism. We're all grifters here. Your wife's a grifter. Like, your wife's a grifter. There's just no other way to describe it. Like, I actually have an article here that's worth a pivot. Like, we're all grifters, right? It's the president of the United States of America became the president of the United States of America because he figured out how to successfully grift people, right? Like, I recently watched The Apprentice. This hold on, let me pull this up. The Apprentice. This is the 2024 film, right? I want to see that. Give me the. This'll do. This is good. Open image. Great. Ugh. You're breaking my balls here. You're breaking my balls here. Why There we go. Now we're talking. This is the 2024 movie. Everybody involved with it was nominated. Nobody won. Nominated for an Oscar. Nobody won. I get why nobody won. It wasn't actually that good of a movie. Like, it was an interesting movie to make. It's Sebastian Stan, who you might know as the Winter Soldier, playing Donald Trump, who does a great job. Garden State, good to see you, my man. And his relationship with lawyer Roy Cohn, played by Jeremy Strong, and how Roy Cohn essentially mentors Donald Trump. And he has 3 rules, right, that Donald Trump fundamentally adopts. And this to me is like the strength of the film, is that it actually does like perfectly lay out Donald Trump's philosophy on how to win. Donald Trump's theory of winning, right? The art of the deal is attack, 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 right? Never be on the defensive, never defend yourself. Attack, attack, attack. Deny everything, admit nothing. The truth is what you say it is. Number 3, never admit defeat, always declare victory. So this is how you become a grifter. right? This is how we have a grifter president. This is how our intellectuals are grifters. Frauds and charlatans like Jordan Peterson are still taken seriously, even though they're very clearly a charlatan, like very obviously a fraud. And so now, guess what? How do people want to be successful in their lives? People want to be successful. People want to win, right? People want to be winners. Well, they're becoming grifters too. The whole thing, because we have a grifter president, and everybody is a total fucking grifter right now, we're in this situation. Like, scams used to be like free money. And now they're like, hello, we have a job for you. Which seems to be a bad sign. Literally everything I see now. Like every ad I see on YouTube, everything that I look at, I assume from the beginning is a scam and a grift. And guess what? It is. Because everything is now a grift. We have a grifter president. That we're all just like, I guess this is normal now. Right? I love that there's like a group of people who actually think like, yeah, we're going to make this shit normal. I mean, the Catholic Church is trying. The Catholic Church is trying. Why not? Warning signs are all over Facebook. OpenAI had no response to Rolling Stone's questions, but the news comes after the company had to rescind a recent update to ChatGPT after users noticed it had made the chatbot extremely sycophantic and overly flattering or agreeable, which could make it more susceptible to mirroring users' delusional beliefs. These AI-induced delusions are likely the result of people with existing tendencies suddenly being able to have an always-on, human-level conversational partner with whom to co-experience their delusions, as Center for AI Safety Fellow Nate Sheridan told Rolling Stone. On a certain level, that's the core premise of a large language model. You enter text, and it returns a statistically plausible reply, even if that response is driving the user deeper into delusions or psychosis. So, do we think it's going to do the same thing with cognitive bias? Do we think that it's going to be like, you know what, bud? You're right. Donald Trump, greatest president ever. Here's all the great things that Donald Trump did as the president. Here's the thing. I'm definitely not going to tell you the things that he did that, you know, are war crimes. Right? And same for like Obama. Same for like all of them. It won't be until somebody's like, tell me all the bad things Obama did. I want to know all the bad things Obama did so that my leader, Donald Trump, looks better. So that the Republicans keep winning and the Democrats keep losing, because this is a fight against the blue and the red. Forget about the capitalists. They earned it. They earned it. Garden State writes, even in my own hobbies, there are grifters and scammers. You can't escape this in a society that commodifies all. What sucks about learning Marxism is that even our beloved hobbies are manufactured and sold to us. Like, just, I feel like everything should be a lot simpler than this, you know? Like, I just feel like, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if you woke up in the morning and you got ready and you went to a place and did something that was actually worthwhile? And, like, actually helped people. Actually accomplished something on behalf of a society. and that you didn't actually have to work that much, right? That, like, you could go in, like, a couple of days a week, do the job, leave, and everything would be fine. Wouldn't that be great if we were even attempting to build such a thing? If we were even attempting to just be like, yeah, everybody can participate in food production, everybody can participate in maintenance, right? To the degree that it is necessary. And then everybody just does whatever else they want. And that's it. Like, wouldn't it be great if we could have a civilization that was actually constantly saying, like, hey, how do we reduce the workload? Like, how do we make there less work to be done? How do we make it so that people, like, why don't we call people's leisure time productivity? Why are we so married to the idea that making more money for a couple of psychopaths who are just murderous losers, and guys like Mark Zuckerberg, who's like, I'm gonna make you a robot friend. I know that you're feeling sad and blue. You're feeling so down. Oh, you haven't talked to a real person who wasn't a barista in 3 weeks, and it's making you feel sad and weepy on the inside. Well, don't worry. You can buy your new best buddy, Blorpo. I love you. Username here. Blorpo will be your best friend and do everything you want to do. Nice catch, Blorpo. Blorpo is successful at baseball. Blorpo comes out June 15th. Limit 1 per customer. Like, they're literally trying to sell you friendship. Like, they're literally trying to sell you, and not just like, it's not like they're even hiring a person. It's not like they're like, hey, we created a new job for a person called being your friend. Right? That could be even better, because they could hire people to pretend to be people's friends or be your friend as a job, and then have that person like snitch on you for things, right? They like have friends enter your life specifically to spy on you. Don't worry, they'll just do it this digital way. They'll be like, Blorpo will be like, Jennifer, where are you going with that rifle? Don't worry about it, Blorpo. Blorpo needs to report this to the authorities. It's like, it's just so pathetic. Like, it's just so, like, we really are just gonna, like, run under institutional umbrellas. And so everything we're watching is just like, which institution are you gonna run under? What institution is going to have enough credibility to be able to, like, withstand what's coming? And the Catholic Church is like, hey, we got an American Pope. Can't get rid of us. Hey. And they'll finger wave at Donald Trump. Oh, you, Donald, and then they'll just invest in everything he invests in. Because that's the way it works. Right? I am schizophrenic. Although the long-term medicated and stable, one thing I dislike about ChatGPT is that if I were going into psychosis, it would still continue to affirm me, one Redditor wrote, because it has no ability to think and realize something is wrong. So it would continue to affirm all my psychotic thoughts. So if it's affirming your psychotic thoughts, it's definitely going to affirm your political biases. Like, I wonder how deep down the rabbit hole ChatGPT will go with the Great Replacement Theory. How deep down the rabbit hole will ChatGPT take you into eugenics, do you think? How far into the rabbit hole do you think ChatGPT will walk you on just simple, like, race superiority theory? Like, how deep into the rabbit hole do you think ChatGPT is going to go? While the whole time being like, what a great question, Bob. Man, Yeah, you know what, Bob? I think you're right. I think white people are the superior race. All the data is here, Bob. The future is so great. It's just so great that we're doing this like absolutely stupid thing to ourselves. Like, it's just so amazing that there isn't any organization that's just like, I don't know about this, you guys. Like, maybe we shouldn't just allow... And, like, the best part about this whole AI conversation, this is the best part. So, let's assume for a moment that the humans are actually able to rein these robots in. Let's just assume for a minute that they are capable of doing that. Well, the people who own the companies that have these reined-in AI robots, right, are literally mass-murdering psychopaths. Like, they're literally committing a genocide in Gaza right now. They're literally deporting judges out of their country right now. Like, these people are psychopaths who should be stopped. But they've got control of the AI. Oh, great. Super good. What a great, worthwhile, positive, excellent thing to hear. That the psychopathic mass murderers, worse than fucking Jason and Freddy Krueger, just like psychotic serial killers, oh, they've got control of the robots. Phew. Oh, I was really worried that the AI might break loose and be independent somehow of these crazed genocidal maniacs. Woo. Close one. Close one. It's so much better that they're under control. I think in some ways this is the one that really set me off today. This is the one that really got me going. Yeah, Garden State. Remember the CEOs of cereal brands pitching cereal for those who may not afford actual meals? I can't wait until like sawdust companies are like, just eat sawdust. Almost like the real thing. Lots of fiber in your sawdust. Just a nice, healthy bowl of sawdust. Most cereal is almost all sawdust anyway. Eggs D, yeah. With a comment that I don't think I'll read, but I appreciate what you're saying. Yes, this is from the absolute glorious The Atlantic, which has very steadily lost what is it all credibility yet? Who owns The Atlantic? Here, let's pull this up. Wikipedia. Who owns The Atlantic? Based in Washington, features articles, founded, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Who owns this thing? Jeffrey Goldberg is the editor-in-chief. Yeah, who owns the thing? Company, Emerson Collective. Good start. Emerson Collective is an organization focused on education, immigration reform, the environment, media and journalism, and health. And fascism, likely. All right. Emerson Collective... Ooh, named after transcendentalist. Good start. Ralph Waldo Emerson. How's that for a fucking name? That's a cartoon character name if I've ever heard one. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The organization says its mission is to do the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people, as long as they're white. I shouldn't say that. Yeah. All right. Who the fuck owns this? Key people. Michael Klein. Just a bunch of assholes. American educator, former basketball player who served in the 9th United States Secretary of Education. Oh, there you go. American technology entrepreneur, venture capitalist. Oh, yeah, very good. Dan Mark Taglaglory is an American government official who serves as a governor of the United States Postal Service. Perfect. So I feel like it's just like a bunch of sort of low-level knobs. Founder Laureen Powell Jobs, an American billionaire, businesswoman, executive. Oh, the widow of Steve Jobs. Here you go. The Emerson Collective was founded by Steve Jobs' wife. Great. We cracked it. So this is a bunch of just dumbass tech bros. People like your Mark Zuckerbergs who are like, I'm going to make you a digital friend. Ha! Writing an article called The Disturbing Rise of MAGA Maoism. Trump seems to be ceding the future to China while emulating its past, by Derek Thompson. This is going to be so good, dude. Dude, like, this article is already the stupidest thing. Like, I wish that I had less... I mean, is shame the word? Like, if I could make a lot of money just writing dumbass articles that sound so stupid. Like, just sell out, right? Just sell out. You could literally just be like, you could write one article about how Donald Trump is like Joseph Stalin, using all the like Red Scare propaganda bullshit. And then you could write a completely other article being like how he's actually like Mao. And you could also write an article about how he's like, he's actually like Hitler. Right? Creating like the perfect trifecta, right? Because these guys are all the same. And like, because Trump is such a erratic, narcissistic idiot, obvious fraud and an obvious liar, you can just pick and choose what you like to make him sound like whoever you want. Because he doesn't actually have a philosophy of thought outside of his own, which is literally just be a winner. Make as much money as possible. China may well come to dominate the next century because President Donald Trump is taking a page from the most famous Chinese leader of the previous one. So America is failing because of China. Got it. Annoying says, holy crap, for a second I thought the shadow behind you was smoke. You're probably looking at this and it's just messing with your perception, right? Hang on. Just got a curtain beside me. Smoky room. John, good to see you. That title seems randomly generated by AI. Maybe this whole article is randomly generated by AI. Can you, hey, Chat GPT. Hey, Chat GTP. Can you, write an article in the style of a super smart guy who wants to juxtapose Donald Trump with Mao Zedong? And ChatGTP is like, absolutely, these two figures have so much in common for sure. You're so pretty and beautiful. What a great idea to spend resources on. We should definitely make sure that all of Earth's resources are bent towards allowing people with these dumbass ideas to be as well articulated as possible. The United States remains the world's preeminent soft power. Yeah, soft power, right? Used to be a hard power, now it's a soft power. Sorry, bud, that happens with age. You can take pills for it if you want, right? But they come from overseas. And the tariffs! The tariffs. So, it's expensive if you want to become a hard power again. It's a financial and cultural juggernaut whose entertainment and celebrities bestride the planet. But as an industrial power, actual power, the U.S. is not so much at risk of falling behind as it is objectively behind already. Yeah, like, imagine you were playing a game of Civilization, and at some point you were given the choice, hey, tear out your productive infrastructure, right? Just get rid of your productive infrastructure or stop using your productive infrastructure. And what we'll do is make sure that 1,000 people in your society have more wealth than anyone could possibly ever use in several lifetimes. And we'll make sure that the culture over there across the globe gets all your productive capacity. What do you think? Interested? Yuck. A recent essay in the journal Foreign Affairs by Rush Doshi and Kurt Campbell, both China experts who served in the Biden administration, made the case with alarming specificity. China makes 20 times more cement, 13 times more steel than the US. It makes more than 2/3 of the world's electric vehicles, more than 3/4 of its electric batteries, 80% of its consumer drones, 90% of its solar panels. China's shipbuilding capacity is several orders of magnitude larger than America's, and its navy will be 50% larger than the United States Navy by 2030. Wonka wonka donk bow. And the solution? Tariffs. Tariffs are going to be a beautiful thing. You're going to see. I'm going to put the tariffs on and wealth will roll into America. We're going to be the richest, the most prosperous. No one's going to be more prosperous than us here in America. We're going to be the most prosperous nation. People are going to be like, Donnie, why didn't we do tariffs all along? I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know why we didn't do the tariffs all along. But we will. We'll do the best tariffs, the most glorious tariffs you've ever seen. The Trump administration clearly recognizes the need to rebuild industrial capacity. In its executive order published on Liberation Day, the White House suggested that without high tariffs, America's defense industrial base is too dependent on foreign adversaries. A clear allusion to China. Like, why not just be buddies? You know? Why you gotta be all, like, adversarial about it? Why you gotta be, like... The trouble is that it's people like Trump who think that life is about winning and are willing to grift everybody to quote-unquote win. And they don't really want to live in a world where it's like, yeah, everybody can do well, it's fine. And like, yeah, you know, we feel like that person is doing better than us, then why don't we look to them? And ask ourselves, like, how are they doing that? Like, what is the system, what is the structure that they are using in order to gain such strength for themselves? Why aren't we asking ourselves that question? Oh, because the answer to that question is less capitalism. Oh, but I want money. I want power. Oh. But Trump's approach to countering China has been so scattershot, so inept, so face-smackingly absurd. They're really letting that chat bot go. Yeah. That it sometimes seems like covert policy to destroy America's reputation. Yeah, Americans don't need to try to destroy their reputation anymore. Like, you guys are destroying your reputation pretty thoroughly. You know, something to do with, like, the gung-ho genocide that you're still committing for some reason. Rather than build a global trading and supply chain alliance to match the scale of China, we've threatened to invade Canada and slapped new tariffs on our European and East Asian allies. Rather than invest in scientific discovery, which is the basis of our technological supremacy, the administration threatens to decimate the National Institutes of Health and the National Science Foundation, while attacking major research universities, including Harvard and Columbia. Rather than compete on clean energy, the White House has targeted solar and wind subsidies for destruction. Rather than invest in nuclear power by expanding the Department of Energy's Loan Programs Office, which provides billion-dollar loan guarantees for nuclear projects, the administration dismissed 60% of its staff. Rather than secure our reputation as the world's premier destination for global talent, we're driving away foreign students. Really looking forward to the Mao twist on this, man. Really, really looking forward to the Mao twist. I'm so looking forward to when they're going to be like, so as you see, Donald Trump is exactly like Chairman Mao. It's coming. Brace for impact, because it's going to be so goddamn stupid. Here it comes. There's his name. There's his name. Mao Zedong. Right here. Right here. Okay. If you take every asymmetric American advantage, our universities, our science, our reputation for attracting the world's smartest young people, we're going after each of them in a fit of cultural Maoism. Doshi told me last week. Mao Zedong, who led China's one-party state after World War II, oversaw a fraught and fatal attempt to industrialize the country, known as the Great Leap Forward, which actually worked, but fine. His regime was infamous for its cult of personality. Yeah, because the Trump administration does have a cult. Because the Biden administration, vote blue no matter who, is not a cult. Right, okay. And its purging of ideological enemies. Not to mention millions of deaths from starvation. Just like, to these guys, grinding out of a feudal, like, tyranny that is a monarchy, resulting in any amount of hunger or starvation happening whatsoever, is the same as the Holocaust. Like, it's just how these people operate, right? Like this kind of this form of Nazi apologetics, where like we have to constantly point out that because of capitalism, people are put into a position where they have to make tough decisions, and oftentimes those decisions can result in catastrophe. That's worse than capitalists. Like, it's just like so fucking annoying how consistent it is in its stupidity. Like, Doshi does not think that Trump will starve millions of Americans to death, nor do I. So he's superior. He's the white Mao Zedong. But he does see Trump's second term featuring a cult of personality. He told me, your entire system is a popularity contest, America. Your entire system. Every time there is an election, it is a popularity contest between one of these two people. Your entire system is a cult of personality generator. You have PR. The public relations industry is a cult of personality generator. Your entire celebrity culture is a cult of personality. Who gives a shit about the Kardashians? Who gives a shit about Katy Perry? Why do I need to know who Elon Musk is? Like, all of this is cult of personality. Any American standing up at any point and pointing to any culture and saying that's a cult of personality is the most rich, just like absolute. It's like an American pretending to care about Muslims in China. It's on that level of just like, that they got a cult of personality. That's bad. Vote yes for Trump. Which may not be Maoist, but does feel Maoish. Shut up. Shut up, man. Like, what? Why are we still permitting this? Why are we still tolerating a society in which just because there are rich people, we have to listen to them? Like, oh, he has a lot of money, we should listen to his opinion. Like, how about we eviscerate them completely? We just eliminate them. That would be very Maoish. The first 100 days of this administration were defined by the relentless targeting of individuals and organizations for their heretical views and purges within the administration for those deemed insufficiently loyal. Yeah, so how does this not make them more like the Inquisition? Right? Like why are we talking about Mao at all? Like, what they're doing is obviously Christian fascism, right? It's Christian nationalism. Like, why are we talking about Mao at all? It's just embarrassing. Like, you've literally used the word Maoish. Shut up. Alakazam. Beautiful name. Hi, CC, first time chatter. Fantastic. Glad to have you here. I'm also a Canadian citizen. Glad to have you aboard. And getting the new boss is the same as the old boss vibes coming out of Mark Carney. What says you? Yeah, it's the Liberal Party. Like, just because it's like a hydra. You cut off the head and a new head will sprout out and it'll be the same fucking monster, right? What Mark Carney represents is a... hold on, let me see if I can get a nice picture up here while I talk about this. This will be fine. The system of capital knows that it's losing credibility. Like, the people within the system of capital understand that they're losing credibility. They understand that. They look at Donald Trump and they see this is a crisis of credibility. There are enough... Like, people like Chris Hedges don't get your attention, but billionaires do pay attention to these people. Like, they know who to pay attention to. They know who to listen to. They hear the criticisms, right? They'll say the criticisms, right? That their goal is to just continue the con and continue the grift at this point. Mark Carney is an attempt by the system of capital to regain, even if temporarily, credibility. That because he was the central banker of the Bank of England, although his job there questionable, and he was the central banker here in Canada, it literally is like a central banker prime minister. He's not in the position of power as a political force to respond to the needs of the people. He's there to stabilize the banking system. He's there to stabilize the financial system and the systems of capital. That's what he's doing. And that's what he will do. That anything outside of that is just like the classic liberal maneuvering. So, like, not for nothing, right? It's looking as though the dental plan, the dental care plan that was negotiated between the NDP and the Liberals is actually happening. It looks like it's actually happening. By the end of this year, or at least I think by the end of next year, every Canadian will have dental coverage in Canada, right? That's not for nothing. Like, that's a thing that you can point at and actually be like, oh, look, technically the Liberals did that. And that's the classic liberal strategy. Let us rule for your entire life, and we're going to give you the little crumb. The little crumb will come off the table, right? Look, we didn't do nothing. Your kids have dental care. That's not nothing, right? And then you look over at the Conservatives, and the Conservatives are literally like, we want to turn your grandma into oil so that we can power our super yachts. And you're like, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll go for, like, the banker that wants to maintain the integrity or the credibility of the financial system that lets me go get my teeth cleaned every so often. Okay. And that's it. I do think there are other important pivot moments. It hasn't been, like, celebrated. There's nobody ringing a bell about it. But I do think that the Liberals are actually pivoting away from their Zionist position. I think that they are decoupling financially from Israel. I think that there is enough being done and there's enough signs. the Carney administration has given aid that they knew was never going to reach Gaza, but they gave the aid anyway, just as a signal to be like, they gave aid to Palestine. So I do think that the liberals are actually like, oh, like the ICC called these guys war criminals. If we continue funding them after that, then we are war criminals and can be indicted as war criminals. So we're not going to, because we don't want to be indicted as war criminals. The largest popular movements in Toronto right now are Palestinian protests. It's not close. And the liberals are responding to that. So my question about Carney has always been, what's going to happen in 4 years? Or less. It could be less. Like, they only have a minority government, so they need to lean on either the Bloc or the NDP. Likely be the NDP. That's what they've been doing the whole time. Because the NDP are basically just more liberals now. We don't have a leftist party in Canada. It's just a joke now. And nobody who's willing to stand up and actually acknowledge like the seriousness of the crises that we face. But okay, it's fine. But in 4 years' time, like Mark Carney will fail at his objective, right? The system of capital is incredulous. It's rendering everybody homeless. The people who do have homes are they're turning us into a permanent renter class. That the banks refuse to sell houses to people, just like they're just refusing to do it. There's this great meme that I have that really encapsulates this. Yeah, just the bank says I can't afford a $950 mortgage, so I pay a $1,400 a month in rent instead. Like, it's a scam. It's an obvious grift. Banks have no credibility whatsoever as organizations. They should be nationalized. Like, we should nationalize them. We should ensure that everybody that was involved in it, literally from the front teller to the CEO of the organization, should be purged from the organization and like blacklisted from finance. And we should put like literally anybody else in these positions to just be like, yeah, you have a home. Yeah. Yes. What do I need to see that you can have a home? Have you been affording rent for any amount of time? Yes, you can have a house. You can have a home for sure. Just and absolutely decimate this market to the ground. I'm completely fine with that. But Carney's not going to do any of that because he's a cowardly capitalist with no spine whatsoever. He's in it for himself, just like all the rest of these grifters are. And so in 4 years, when he's completely failed, because he has to, just by definition, what happens next? What happens next? And what happens next is a hard right swing to fascism. All the Donald Trump shit we're seeing right now, that's what we're going to experience. Because God knows Canadians are not going to suddenly go, maybe we should actually give a shit about one another. Like, maybe we should actually, like, hey, that whole socialism thing sounded like a good idea, right? Like, maybe we should do that. Fuck Carney! I'm voting me for some PP! Let's get the conservatives in and they'll straighten everything out. And then the conservatives will just slash everything. Hover as much money as they can into their own pockets. Collapse systems on purpose. And then get ousted after one term. Because everybody goes, oh, I didn't expect the conservatives to act exactly the way conservatives always have acted since forever. I didn't expect that. Like, but we're not intelligent. Like, this is the thing that's getting me this week. And the reason why I'm so cantankerous right now. And the reason why I'm so grumpy. It's just like, I want us to be smarter than this. And we're not. We're just not. And I don't think we're capable of it. Like, I genuinely don't think we're actually capable of just looking and going, yeah, these guys are fucking frauds. Like, we should vote for anybody. else. Like, literally anybody else. We should literally vote for the guy with the boot on his head. Like, we should vote for Count Binface. Like, we should stop voting for bankers. We should stop voting for these people, because they're obviously frauds. And Mark Carney, what makes him so dangerous from a cultural analysis perspective is that he has been put in as a way to attempt to bring credibility back to the system of Canadian capital, and he won't be able to do that. And in 4 years' time, everyone will be worse. The situation will have accelerated. Carney will not have helped anyone outside of just this small, tiny little piecemeal reformism that's just barely enough to separate them from the Conservatives. And so in 4 years' time, I think it's just going to be absolutely worse. Like, I already think the Conservatives are getting in just because Carney can't deliver. Like, you read his book, right? He has a book called Values, right? And his pitch and his appeal is basically, we need to appeal to the good nature of psychopaths. Like, that's essentially his pitch. That if we can all just be nice about it, then everything will be better. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. These people are ruthless psychopaths. Just listen to them talk, for God's sakes. Like, you don't even need to go to the States. Just listen to Kevin O'Leary talk for 30 seconds on any subject, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's a psychopath. Like, he obviously wants to murder your children for money. Like, it's so clear that he is interested in that. So I think that Carney is going to be a disaster for Canada. I think he'll be a disaster for Canadian culture. He'll be a disaster for Canadian capitalism. I think that the credibility of capitalism will only swiftly decline under his leadership. Mainly because, like, he's a neoliberal, right? And like, he's a true believer in neoliberalism. Like I keep calling him a banker, but he is actually more like a priest, right? Like, his church is money. Like, his God is money. His church is the Bank of England or the Bank of Canada, right? Like, he's just a priest, and he's peddling a false religion that will fail. And it fails on the face of it. Like, it doesn't even work in theory. The theoretical framework of it is so childishly backwards and stupid. And he's a true believer in it. So he's going to vigorously defend a failed system in front of all of us. And all it's going to take is for PP to stand up and say, yeah, they changed from Trudeau to Carney, but we got more liberalism, right? Like, look, it's the same. And all of these Canadians are just going to be like, yeah, that's right. Like the Conservatives gained power in this election, right? Like, they're closer to a majority than they've been since Harper. Like, these guys are going to get it. And they're going to get it because Carney will be so ineffectual and so useless while professing his grandness and his accomplishments. Like, that's what pissed people off so much. Somebody named Current Thing Enjoyer, it's a worthless comment. Who cares what you think? In fact, I just don't even know why these people bother commenting. Just give me a second. Like, it's just such a pathetic thing to say. Like, you're just a loser. Go away. Yeah. So I just don't see how Carney is going to actually help. Like, that's what pissed everybody off about Trudeau, is that Trudeau was constantly talking about, here are the things that we've done. Here are the laurels. And, like, people don't feel it. Prices are up. Rent's up. Like, this is a scam. The whole thing is a scam. And it's not going to be better under the Conservatives either. So we're literally going to have 4 years of Carney failing. And then we're going to get 4 years of the Conservatives failing. And then it's going to swing back over to Liberals, and we're going to have 4 more years of failing. So guess what? It's going to be 12 years of this. What you're experiencing right now, it's going to be 12 years of this. At best. Zed, good to see you, by the by. What do you think about how not voting at all to show through growing numbers what a farce voting is? I do what you like at this point. I have no advice on this. I went and voted communist. That's what I did. Because I think that if enough of us just go and vote communist, then it's going to show up and people are going to care. Like, the no voting thing, I think, is culturally interesting, but unfortunately it's just not how the system works. Right? Like, if you're going to not vote, like, they don't care if only 10% of the population shows up to vote, as long as that 10% votes for them. Right? In fact, it's in their preference if nobody shows up and everybody that does show up just votes for them. Right? Just make sure my house is safe. Like, that's it. So, democracy and republics were created by elites to better manage the minority rule, and tyrants and dictators were named as such by the elites for those who ruled on behalf of the majority. Yeah. I don't know, though. That, like, I'm on the fence about this particular issue. It's like, we know the whole thing is a scam. Like, we know that, like, if voting mattered, they wouldn't let us do it. Right? Like, real simple. And, like, they're not responding to us. They don't respond to us. And we all just keep going to work. So, who gives a shit? Right? We all just keep going to work. We all just keep saying, yes, sir. Right? We all keep just going along with this very obvious fraud that this whole society is. Like, there's no further way to describe it. That there's just like, Garden State writes, in Canada, do all provinces allow voting for outside parties? In the USA, some states don't count write-ins or third-party candidates. Yeah. If you make it on the ballot, and it's not hard to get on the ballot, like, there's a little part of me that, like, in my quiet dream world is just like, I could get my name on the ballot. Like, I would just have to go do it. Right? Like, you literally need, like, 50 signatures. It's not hard to get your name on the ballot. And it's just, what we are experiencing is a cultural issue. This is a cultural problem we're having. That we're experiencing a kind of, like, cultural constipation. Where the proletariat has been rendered infantile. And seems to genuinely believe that hyper-focusing on the destruction of the civilization is the way to build a civilization. Like, we genuinely are rooting for our own downfall and seem completely disinterested in doing anything about it. Like, that's what's so stunning. It's just so staggering. Like, and then when you take a look at what the issue is and why the issues can't be resolved, it's always the same 5 people. That's the reason why we're constantly bombarded by them, because they are the problem. That's the reason why we have to know who Mark Zuckerberg is. It's the reason why we have to know who Elon Musk is. It's the reason why we have to know who Bill Gates is. It's the reason why we have to give a shit about Warren Buffett, right? Because they're the problem. They're obviously, like, you would like to know about the clog in your artery, but you wish you didn't have it. And instead of us being like, hey, there's a clog in our artery, we should get this clog in our artery out of here. Instead of saying that, we're like, but that clog earned it. He worked so hard to build that dam in your artery. He worked so hard. Like, and then you get people who are just like, they come in and say some snide comment, and they think that this is discourse. Like, everything the West gets, it deserves at this point. I have no sympathy left. I've got nothing left. I've got no more tears left to cry for any Westerner at all. Like, we get what we deserve. Like, we're getting, like, and it's no secret to who the enemies of the state are. It's no secret to who the enemies of the country are. but we voted for them. Like, they literally, like, 2008, financial collapse so bad it almost destroys the entire global banking system. We give money to those bankers. 2025, Canada elects a central banker as prime minister. We're morons. Like, we're just unintelligent. Garden State writes, a communist party I was a part of is pushing for its members in my chapter to support a social democratic candidate to the likes of AOC. I refuse to support any Democrat or Republican. That's the bare minimum. Yeah, just no genocide. Real straightforward. Like, that's my view. Like, if your candidate can't stop supporting genocide, then I'm not interested in supporting them. And Democrats and Republicans are in full lockstep agreement that the genocide has to continue. Like, they both completely agree on that. And down to, like, Bernie Sanders and AOC. Like, there's complete and total lockstep, full agreement that the genocide must continue. And it's just... But keep believing that the enemy is the red guy or the blue guy, right? Keep believing that the enemy is that your real enemy is actually just the guy wearing the red tie instead of the blue tie, right? Keep chanting vote blue no matter who, because that'll actually work. It'll actually help, right? Like, here's the degree to which this is happening in Israel. This one really, like, hit me in a specific place, right? What you're looking at are donuts baked in an Israeli bakery. The words, let the IDF mow them down, written on them. Baked with hate, Israeli desserts sold to children call for Gaza to be mowed down. Like, imagine you walked into your local bakery and someone had written on a donut or a cake, let's round up all the black people. And this is considered culturally normal. Yeah. Zone of Interest went over so many people's heads. These Zionists are modern Nazis, partying and making pastries in celebration of mass death. Yeah. And nobody's stopping them. Right? Like, that's what has removed credibility from the system of capital completely. That's what makes it so that none of these people have credibility anymore. Because at the bottom of all of this is a genocide. That somehow the system has managed to find its theory and its idea that a genocide against the Palestinian people is somehow necessary. But once you take a look at the history of capitalism, you realize right away, like, oh yeah, this is a genocidal ideology to its core. Capitalism is genocidal, just by definition. That it requires just ever-expanding profits forever, and it doesn't care who's in the way. And so it will just ethnically cleanse everything in front of it to get access to the resources that it wants in order to expand its little empire. Like, that's how capitalism operates. And, like, it's obvious. Yeah. Colonization was always part of capitalism. Now we're just able to watch it live instead of in print. Yeah. Like, it's being fucking live streamed. Like, that's what's so crazy. It's just what's so insane when people come in here and try to start talking about other genocides. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Yeah, well, not that it's worse or better now, just new methods of depravity. I think the reason why it's so galling is because not only is it happening in spite of it being filmed and documented, that it's the Israelis that are doing the documentation. It's the Israelis, it's the Zionists that are doing the documentation. They're the ones live streaming the atrocities. They're the ones posting it themselves. They're the ones putting it up for everybody to see. Like, they're the ones providing all of the evidence. This speaks completely to what I talk about when I talk about the accusations of genocide against communists. It's like, okay, cool. Like, when people commit genocides, they think that they're correct for doing it, right? So they are the ones often that provide the evidence. That's what the Nazis did, right? Like, the Nazis end up being the ones to provide the evidence. They're the ones whose statements are used at Nuremberg. They're the ones who take photographs. They're the ones who document it, right? Because they think they're right. Like, nobody commits a genocide being like, boy, we're so bad for doing this one. No, what a bunch of bad guys we are. It's not how that goes. Yeah, equally vile are half the West's population who are engaging in apologetics and giving support for Israel. Yeah. It's just straight Nazism at this point. Like, it's just straight Nazism at this point. And, like, as the Nazis become more... What's the word that I'm using? Like, they no longer fear repercussion. They don't think that anybody's going to do anything to them. And so more and more people are just like, oh, cool, so we can just do Nazi shit. Right? Like, we just do Nazi shit. Like, I could just hire a group of mercenaries to go clear out that building of all those tenants that aren't paying their rent. Yeah, embolden. That's a good way of doing it, of saying it. But, like, if I'm a landlord, right, I have $50 million. I'm a psychopath, obviously, because I'm a landlord. And I've got some tenants that aren't paying their rent. Yeah, just hire some mercenaries to go in there and clear them out. Call them bounty hunters if you wanted. Make yourself feel better. Right? And, like, who's going to stop you? The cops are certainly not going to stop you. Right? Like, the cops are just, like, rounding up migrants at this point. Like, that's what the cops are doing. They're not going to give a shit about some poor tenants living in a building somewhere. Right? Like, there's never going to be a serious investigation. And if there is a serious investigation, you can just deny. They don't have any evidence. Right? Just shut off the cameras in the building. Send in the death squads, the way that you send the death squads into Iraq or Afghanistan or anywhere else, right? Get a couple of people got, leave. Super clean, super easy, right? In a surprise to no one, world's 10% richest people responsible for 65% of the pollution. Just like the earth itself is turning against them, right? Nature itself is turning against these capitalists. And we're all just, like, clapping seals, I guess. Like, JT writes, watch the sun as it crawls across a final time, and it feels like it was a friend. It is watching us in the world we set on fire. Do you wonder if it feels the same? If the sun is capable of understanding anything, It's got to be looking at us with utter bewilderment, total confusion. JT continues, Year Zero was a neat Nine Inch Nails album. He met Saul Williams, black poet, anti-capitalist. It's just so exhausting. Like, that's really what it is. It's just so fucking exhausting. Like, it's exhausting experiencing it. It's exhausting constantly being told that I have to participate in it. But really, I think it's just, like, the most exhausting thing is watching other people completely caught up in it, who are like staking their whole claim on this very overtly failed ideology, and watching them insist that I should respect them or I should respect what they're doing, while they very obviously destroy everything around them. I have no idea why anyone is working like a full-time job anymore. Like, I have no idea why anyone is wasting their lives on these failed institutions that aren't protecting you. I don't know why we're constantly saddled with this expectation that we should participate in something that is so obviously turned against us. Like, so obviously turned against us. Like, they're stripping of us of our housing, for God's sakes. Like, they're stripping us of our wages. They're stripping us of our ability to have food and shelter in the society. Like, they actively work to turn us against each other. It's so clear what they're doing. It's so obvious what they were doing. If you saw it in a movie, you'd understand it instantly. You'd understand right away who the villains of the piece are. And yet, for some reason, it's in your own life, and it's just like, yeah, it's normal, they earned it. I'm just following orders. Cop cities are going to go up without people even realizing it somehow. Yeah. People just not really understanding the weight of it, not understanding what it's going to mean to have like a fortress full of cops who are just like going to be completely ideologically incestuous, right? Like they're going to view themselves as heroes and you as a villain. Like, you're the problem. And they're gonna have like, you're gonna see like a cop city that has like a Warhammer 40K ideology emerge from it, where they have like weird little rituals and like services and like do like little hype up things, and then they're all gonna get in their overpowered vehicles and like ram themselves into the city and like go clear out a building or something, like it's fucking Judge Dredd. Yeah. They'll choose names like the Punisher faction, yeah, because it'll be fundamentally silly. Like, this is something I've been calling for a long time. When I was growing up, the Warhammer 40K universe was inherently a satire. That everything was just like so overwrought and so ridiculous and so dripping with just like pageantry, performativeness, and like that kind of rugged epicness. Brothers, we are here today to destroy the mighty army of the Tyrannid. Like that kind of like, just like full of testosterone, let's go kill kind of mentality. And it's so, yeah, heretic, exactly. And like taking the piss out of like the religious ideology of everything. Everybody's a heretic. It's like Uh, uh, like, if you don't think that Warhammer 40k is a satire, you just need to pay attention to the orcs. Nothing sillier than these guys. These guys are just silly. Like they're so obviously uh, a spoof on like the soccer hooligans. That's completely who they are. They're just like soccer hooligans, and uh, uh, they're made with like a latent psychic energy. That's how they were created, and so orcs are inherently psychic creatures, but they're too stupid to know it, or they're too stupid to understand it. But what it means is that for the orcs, things work around them because they think it should. So there's like orcs that will be considered mechanics because they'll like hit a vehicle with a wrench a few times and then it'll spring to life. But it's not springing to life because they fixed anything. It springs to life because their latent psychic ability allows them to believe that they fixed it. And so it is fixed. There's a very specific mechanic where red, if they paint something red, it makes it go faster. And it just works that way because they think it does. And so the whole thing is obviously just like, yeah, it's just so obviously satire. And that the Warhammer 40k universe, they really hit on this brilliant idea of like this race of psychics that are too stupid to know that they're psychics, but they're still psychics. And so they still do things using psychic energy. It's just their reasoning is so stupid, right? You paint something red, it goes faster. And so it does. So it's like a causality loop. It works. We painted it red and it goes faster. Red things go faster. But what's happened now, and I called it a long time ago, is that now the Warhammer 40k universe is no longer satire. People are looking at that shit and being like, that's awesome. Oh, the Space Marines are hardcore. That's cool. Because we're too fucking stupid to realize, like, that's not cool, dude. Like, that's, like, there's something gross about it. Like, you want to, like, you kind of revel in it in like a pornographic sort of way, right? Like, you're like, yeah, I'm a Sigma Space Marine, yeah. But if you ever took it seriously, you'd be the biggest fucking loser in the world, dude. There's no bigger loser than somebody who looks at something that's obviously satirical and thinks to themselves, that's awesome. That's so cool. And that's where we are now. Like, we're literally going to make like a Space Marines movie or a Space Marine movie, or a television series or something. And it's going to be loaded with this just like overwrought hyper masculinity. And all of these guys are going to be like, yeah. Because they're such fucking losers. And their fucking role models are people like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. Dave writes, good to see you, by the way, Dave. The new Pope is American. Yeah. They really picked a good mascot this time around. Guys, the Catholic Church has credibility. It's a credible institution. We should definitely still allow it to persist. We should allow all of its stolen gold to sit in the Vatican forever, for sure. And definitely listen to the things that they have to say. When the pedophile organization of the Catholic Church stands up and tells us how to act, we should really listen to what they think. For sure. JT writes, I imagine people playing the Starship Troopers game as the Nazi troopers don't reflect on that. But the creators didn't either. Yeah, that's another one, right? You're talking about, what is it, Helldivers is what it's called? Like, Helldivers is like basically a ripoff of Starship Troopers. Pretty nakedly, like on a 1-to-1 level, which is fine. But like, in the movie Starship Troopers, the quote-unquote Starship Troopers are Nazis. Like, they're at least fascists, right? And it's like explicit, Like, if you watch Starship Troopers and you listen to what they say at all, forget about how they act, just what they say. It's like, oh, yeah, like, literally the teacher says, today we're teaching about how democracy failed, and you've got to make sure that you give all the power to the state. Right? Which is the essence of fascism. Like, Mussolini explicitly said that the essence of fascism is giving everything over to a powerful state. And of course, it's a powerful state run by Mussolini, right? So, yeah, very convenient ideology there. Like, everyone should give power to the state run by me. Like, that's always somehow not part of the conversation, but okay. I'm doing my part. Yeah, and then people will turn around and they'll actually say, and they'll actually say out loud, like, "Oh, what a, like, those Stormship Troopers, man, they killed those bugs. We got them." Like, and I understand there is a group of people who are just like, I don't really care about the politics. It's just like dudes shooting bugs. And I'm like kind of just in for that. It's like, yeah, okay. But like, the reason that film is actually brilliant is because it's like, it's the type of propaganda film Nazis would make about destroying a race of people. Right? It's like the type of thing that the fascists would make. In order to convince people that that we should engage in this holy war. Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris at the end is literally wearing a leather long Nazi coat and hat. Yeah, my favorite part about Starship Troopers is all the like psychic ability that Neil Patrick Harris is supposed to have. He like goes up to the bug at the end and he like puts his hand on it and he's like, "It's scared." Like, yeah, bud, you don't need to be an empath, right? You don't need to be a big empath to be like, yeah, we killed every creature around it and it's alone surrounded by its enemies. It's scared. Dave writes, "I'm not a communist. We'll get you, Dave. But I think global change will push us to rethink how we restructure our society. A system that makes us buy more and more as business profits grows on and on lacks the social focus." For sure. No, for sure. And when you said global change, you meant climate change. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're catching me at a real moment where I'm like, my trust in humanity is basically at an all-time low. I'm basically like 0% trust in humanity. I just don't think we've got it. There are like little pockets, but like for the most part, I think that humanity is just sort of waltzing out the door. The thing is, that feeling of something needs to change is going to happen, but it's no guarantee it isn't reactionary in many places. Yeah. Like, I just think the most likely outcome is collapse. It's just the most likely outcome. Like, the history of the decline of empires is collapse. And that now we're entering a period of time where we have, like, AI robot surveillance systems. And, like, these guys are no longer going to be ruling just with, like, thugs, which is usually what they've used. They're also going to have, like literal robot armies. Like, literally, they'll have robot armies. That's a literal thing that they will definitely have, if they don't already have them. Like, right at this stage in the game, a guy like Jeff Bezos could have several robot dogs with flamethrowers, could already have, like, robots armed with assault rifles. Like, there's nothing stopping them from having this stuff. So it just seems to me like collapse and consolidation is the next phase. And from there, we may be building social networks and things like this that are more resilient. But I don't think so. Like I don't think that we pull up from this. I think that the airplane hits the mountainside. Like, we're going to see stronger, more resilient, more robust independence movements. We're going to see literal feudal enterprises. Like what Elon Musk is trying to do is straight feudalism. Like, it's no, you don't need to be like techno feudal or cloud feudalist or any fun little name that you want to put on it. It's just feudalism. Like, it's just fucking feudalism again. Right? That the capitalists created a system that basically implodes and then returns to feudalism. So it's not really much of an advancement. It's not connecting people to material history. Yeah, it won't go well. Long Defiant writes, redistribution is just a subsidy for capitalists. We have to ask the ownership question. Yeah. Like, I don't think the capitalists should have ownership of any of this stuff. Like, they've lost the right to govern. I don't understand why we're still believing that capitalists have the right to govern. They've lost the right to govern. For sure, they've lost the right to govern, right? These guys are committing a genocide. Like, first and foremost, these guys are committing a genocide. We're watching them do it. Right? They're all profiting from it. They're all making money. They're all making plans off of it. They're doing everything they can to make prices worse for you. They're doing everything they can to make housing harder for you to get. They're doing everything they can to make it more difficult for you to have an education. They're doing everything they can to make it so that you don't have any health care. They're doing absolutely everything they can to siphon away your entire life for their profit. They have lost the right to govern. Not a single one of them is trying to make your life easier or better. That the only thing that they're giving you are little snackies. That's it. And soon they won't even be doing that. Soon that'll be gone. Because these tariffs are absolutely destroying the whole market. Right? We're already going to start seeing the food shortages. It's already coming. Like, I just... Is it actually going to be just like a bunch of burger eaters finally get 1 week are told, oh, no burgers today, right? Oh, no burgers today, burger eaters. And then the burger eaters go, oh, and then show up at the Capitol. Is that what it is? JT writes, Musk will have the first Ed 209, I think, yeah. Garden State writes, yeah, the reason America came to rise once the British Empire collapsed, it basically passed the button to the U.S. Not to mention world wars didn't happen in the States, yeah. Once America goes down, the rest of the West is coming down with it. Yeah, like, the dominoes will come down with, like, big thuds. NATO breaking apart is going to be a big one. And I think most people are not ready for that. And the United States is going to go through, like, independence movements. There's going to be, like... And what's so fucking crazy about the whole thing, right, is that because America is going to have to turn itself inward, right? It's just going to have to do that. Because it's going to turn itself inward, right, and actually deal with all these crises, it's going to have to pull resources away from this global world war it's been waging, like the fucking fascists they are. And that's only going to allow further development and independent development outside of the international system. So this whole thing is absolutely doomed. It was doomed from the beginning. Garden State with a $9.99 donation. Thank you, Garden State. I do appreciate that. Garden State writes, I've been meaning to bring this up. U.S. citizens now refer to themselves as the state they reside in rather than being an American. This, to me, is obviously the start of balkanization. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Can I give that an up? Oh, apparently I can't give it. Can I give that an up? I can't. Oh, well. I would if I could. Upvote comment. Yeah, well, I mean, Texans have been doing that for forever, right? Like literally, I heard a story one time where a young lady moved to Texas, and somebody in Texas asked her, like, hey, where are you from? Thinking that she was going to be like a recent immigrant from like Venezuela or something. And she said, oh, no, I'm from Ohio. And the Texan went, oh, okay, well, welcome to America. Like, balkanization is the most likely outcome. What it's going to look like, who's going to say? Like, will it be Texas? Will it be California? Will it be Washington? Right? Who knows? But chances are good. Like, Texas is the easy money, right? And it'll all be like a border security thing. Like, the United States is going to start a war with Mexico somehow, and the federal government will fuck it up so badly it'll actually make things worse for Texas. Like, there'll be more crime, there'll be more drugs. That's what happened with the war on drugs, right? That there's this phenomenon that when you have like large cartels and you have like mafia gangs, basically, which is what was in Mexico, but it means that crime is low because the mafia bosses and the mob bosses and the gangsters themselves don't want petty crime to exist in the system because it makes their lives harder. So they themselves are responsible for clamping down on it. And then the United States starts the war on drugs. And what happens? Crime skyrockets. Why? Because they go in and they knock out the leaders. And so now petty criminals and thieves are able to do everything. So crime skyrockets. But you know what else also skyrockets? And this is the great irony of the war on drugs, is drug use skyrockets. Drug sales skyrocket. It becomes way easier to get hold of drugs. More drugs are being circulated around. It's harder to track them. So it turns into a total catastrophe, and that catastrophe is what we're looking at today. And now Donald Trump is threatening to invade Mexico. Now they're talking about getting involved in Mexico. Now they're talking about a Mexican war, which the Americans are inevitably going to do because they're short-sighted idiots. And the war between Mexico and America is going to be worse, or hardest rather, on Texas. Right? The refugee crisis it creates. The border crisis will only be exacerbated more. It'll only be more difficult. There'll be more migrants flooding up. And, like, the American strategy is literally going to be, like, gulags and death camps. How do we know? That's what they're doing now. So, it's not difficult to see how Texas takes a turn towards independence. Garden State says, yeah, Texas is a great example. Where I am, New Jersey, now more than ever, people are so proud to be from New Jersey. This was never a thing before. Yeah. I mean, look, if you raise generations of base nationalists, eventually they get just proud of their house, right? Like, eventually they're literally like, the town that I am in is the best town in the world, right? Like, that's just this sort of childish base nationalist thing. And so what the phenomenon that you're seeing is the regression. I think that you're correct. That the idea of America is now dead to everyone. The American dream, the concept of the American dream has died. People don't think that they can get ahead through hard work anymore. The concept of actually putting something in and getting something out from the system is gone. That the federal government is primarily burdensome at this point. And that's how people view it. That the federal government is a burden. That it doesn't actually do anything for us except take our money to go kill people in a genocide. And that would be accurate. The federal government doesn't do anything for the American people anymore. Outside of getting them cheap little snackies. But it doesn't, like, get them jobs. There's no long-term security. And we're beginning to see that. We're beginning to see how that long-term security and this paper tiger of America is becoming unraveled. Right? That in many ways, from my perspective, it's like how I was talking about the rise of a figure like Donald Trump during the Obama years. Because people were like, what are you talking about, John? Like, these are the best years. Like, Obama solved racism. Like, all this Great stuff is going to happen. Isn't it great? First black president. Wow, what a time to be alive. And they just didn't want to hear, yeah, but the Nazis are coming, right? Like, Obama's only going to make them more furious. Like the whole tan suit thing, like that. Did you not see how they the whole time they were just like not willing to work with Obama at all? Do you think that might have something to do with the fact that he's black? Like, do you think that plays? No? Interesting. And now I feel like very similar, where I'm like saying all the things that I say, but people are like, but I still get my cheeseburger, right? I still can get my fudge sundae from Ben and Jerry's. It's just like, okay, bud. Just people are grabbing hold of straws, and the straws are breaking off. And things are getting thin. And I genuinely think it's not going to be until it's like the rent is due, they don't have a job, they couldn't get snackies if they wanted, or if they could afford them, that these people will actually be like, maybe something should be done. And it's going to, like here in Canada, I said it before, like what makes this whole situation so depressing is that it's like going to be 4 years of carny, where things degrade and things get worse, followed up by 4 years likely of conservatives, where things get really worse, like really bad. And then we'll just do what we always do, which is flip back to liberals, and the liberals will just be like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, peck on the cheek, nothing changes. So it's just embarrassing at this point. Like, we're not even trying. So the only outcome that I can perceive as being the serious one is balkanization. That the Alberta separatist movement is picking up steam. Danielle Smith is actually making it easier for a separatist movement to happen. I wouldn't be surprised at all to find out that the CIA is doing the thing that it always does, right? Which is fund separatist movements and then attempt to coup governments, right? And so it's going to attempt to coup the government of Alberta, right, in a separatist movement, the way that it always does everywhere, right? They're just bringing it home now. That there's no sacred territory anymore. Like, Canada is up for grabs. The system of capital is a rapacious lunatic that consumes everything that stands before it. It will absolutely destroy all of the relationships that the United States has built since World War II. It will absolutely do that, and we're watching that happen. Like, and it's going to happen faster. It's going to be more grotesque. It's going to be stupider. And it's going to be like more and more blatantly Nazi. Like, it's going to be more and more like blatantly Nazi. Do you see balkanization bringing in socialist states to the North American region? I mean, I do think that is an inevitability, just because there are some states that are actually more progressive-minded than others, right? That some states actually insisted on having something called an education system, and they actually insisted that education system actually educate their children. So you do have like small pockets of America where you have a working class that's actually like, oh yeah, First Nations genocide, like that's a real thing that happened. Ooh, slavery, the subjugation of the black population. Oh yeah, geez Louise. The same culture that created a genocide against the First Nations people to steal their land and then had black slaves build everything are now also committing a genocide overseas. I wonder if these things are linked. Like, I wonder if a culture and a people that commit genocide in their past, if they don't confront that and deal with that and reckon with that in a serious way, do they just keep doing it? Right? And the answer is yes. They just keep doing it. That if you don't actually reckon with your past and you don't actually pull the skeletons out of your closet and analyze them and talk about them and have serious discussions about them, then you'll just do it again. And so we're doing it again. Right? And if we're willing to do it to the Gazans, you know, the Americans are willing to do it to Alberta. If they're willing to do it to Iraq, they're willing to do it to Mexico. If they're willing to do it to Afghanistan, they're willing to do it in Greenland. Like, just because you're white doesn't protect you. Right? The concept of whiteness was created to protect the slavers. That they created the concept of whiteness out of whole cloth to just ally sections of the proletariat with the slavers. To make, oh, black people are chattel slaves. Those are a different class. You can tell because they're black. And their blackness is what makes them so bad. Right? Whereas literally the year before, like, the Polish and the Irish were treated as bullshit nobodies. And so for them, it's like, oh, this is a step up. We're white now. Like, and we definitely have not reckoned with this. We have not reckoned with the whole idea that we fabricated the myth of whiteness. Like, the idea that there is such a thing as whiteness. Like, it's such a stupid fucking idea. This group of people have slightly less melatonin. That means that they are the superior ruling race. Because they live slightly further away from the sun than everybody else. This group of people are much worse and inferior because they're closer to the sun, which gives them darker skin. Like, what did I say? I said melatonin, right? Did I not say melatonin? What did I say? And so we're just like that's what this whole Trump moment is. It's just a bunch of children basically putting their fingers in their ears, going la 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 la. And they're just doing it so loudly and so in front of our face. And they're doing it like in institutions that we are supposed to take seriously. And so we have to pay attention to them. That's the part about it that I hate. I hate that we have to pay attention to these guys. They're just like, they're just so stupid. Yeah, Isaac writes, anybody with tan skin was considered black, even Spanish, Italians, and Portuguese. Like, it's so just stupid. So I said melatonin. What's melatonin? It's melanin. That was good. What's melatonin? Melatonin. What is it? Oh, it's the chemical messenger that tells your body it's time to relax and get ready to rest. Yeah, melatonin. I definitely have a high amount of melatonin these days. This whole time I've been like, my body has just been like, time to go to sleep, John. And like the whole week I've just been like, get up, do the stupid thing that capitalism demands of me, go home, play some video games for a half hour, go to sleep. Wake up, tool around, go do the thing that capitalism demands of me. I shouldn't complain because I'm actually playing a show on the weekend. It's the first show that I'm actually playing. It's happening on Saturday. So I basically have to work a full day of work and then go perform. But it's a nice opportunity. It's not just an open mic. So it'll be something. And I'm sure it'll go perfectly well. Like, you guys have heard me. Like, I'm a good performer. I know how to perform. I'm just like, I'm just so tired of seeing like broken down homeless people wherever I go. Like, I'm just so tired of it. Like, I try to bring spare change with me so that I can give them something. You know, if I have a $5 on me, I'll give them a $5 bill. And like, anybody says anything to me like, oh, they'll just spend that on drugs. I'm like, I hope they do. Yeah, I hope they do. I hope they spend it on precisely and exactly the thing that you think they shouldn't. I hope they do. Like, whatever thing you think would be the most deplorable, the most insulting, what you would consider the biggest waste of the money that you gave them, I hope that they go do that. because a a homeless person with his hand out has more credibility than a rich person trying to justify their poverty. Like, if they need to go do that thing that you hate, then I think that they have more credibility than you. So they should go do it. Like, I don't know where these rich cocksuckers get off telling people what to do with their own time and money in the first place. Like, you just want people to be poor at some point. And when I say at some point, I mean always and forever, because capitalists are universally demons, no exceptions. That if capitalists weren't demons, they would give their money away. Be real simple. Right? You want to convince me that you're not demonic? You want to convince me that you should be spared the guillotine? Yeah, give your money away. Literally go outside and hand money to people. Oh, why aren't you doing it? Oh, it's because you're demonic. Got it. Just innately evil. Incapable of not being evil. And I'm just like, I don't know why anybody pretends anymore. Like, I don't know why anybody is actually standing there and trying to say, like, I don't really get why we're going to work anymore. Like, I don't really get why we're attempting to build anything anymore. I don't really understand what it is we think we're achieving. Like, what it is we think we're doing. Like, I don't really get why we keep insisting that we better shuffle these papers around as fast as possible. It's super important that we administrate the exchange of houses between the Bank of England and BlackRock. That's super important that we make sure that we have this entire system of property management and ownership to make sure everybody knows who owns what. That's what's important. Oh, by the way, the whole thing's burning down, but, you know, it's important to know who owns what. Like, it's just staggeringly stupid. Like, watching people stand in a wildfire, and instead of, like, getting water, trying to put out the fire, trying to escape the fire, everybody's negotiating who owns what tree. Like, I am completely in favor of arresting all of these people. Like, if you're in the banking industry, if you're in the finance industry, so like the hedge funds, all of that, if you're in the fossil fuel industry, like, I think these people should be arrested en masse, that we should have massive trials. Like, a huge truth and reconciliation movement that ends with a lot of these guys being put into holes in the ground. Whether they're alive or dead is up to you, I guess. Like, what these people have done and what these people are doing is easily amongst the worst crimes ever committed by humans in history. And they know it. Right? They're just psychopaths. And it would be nice to believe that that's going to happen. It'd be nice to believe that finally people will begin organizing seriously under this idea that, like, these people are incredulous criminals that should be rounded up and arrested. Like, we should have a trial. Like, these people are committing, like, a mass apocalypse. They should not be permitted to do so. But I just don't see it. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that people will just keep their heads down, keep bumping along, keep having their little snackies, right? Until finally they're the ones that are being thrown out into the streets. And by then they'll just be too busted up and too destroyed to want to do anything. And then they'll go, talk to the new pope, and the new pope will be like, oh yeah, I for sure have your back. Make sure you give me money. It'll be nice to start beekeeping. It'll be nice to play a show. It'll be nice to work with the bees in the sunlight. Do something worthwhile for once. Instead of just subsisting under this ridiculous grind of capital that basically just treats you like you're an object. There's no negotiation, there's no conversation. They don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care. And the fields dry up. The forests burn down. The plagues, the famines. The famines will be the big one for a lot of these burger eaters. A lot of these burger eaters are going to go from, like, straight up just eating McDonald's slop to being told, like, okay, here's a bowl of rice. That's what's going to happen to these guys. And they're just going to, like, immediately break. And so I want to go do the bees, and I want to take care of the bees. I want to make sure we have some bees. I want to make sure that we have pollinators. I want to make sure that I'm part of that system that is ensuring that the pollinators are safe. And we're going to set up raspberry bushes and blueberry bushes. We're going to start building a garden, start growing food. And I'm glad that I'm doing that, because my assumption is that eventually this system collapses inward. That the capitalists finally just destroy the whole thing. And from their perspective, it'll be worthwhile. Long Defiant writes, if you are prepping, cases of alcohol will eventually become the most sought after commodity. Yeah, I'll be able to make mead, though. Right? You can turn honey into mead. Really, the big trick is going to be learning how to build equipment. That's the big trick. This first year is just dedicated to, like, getting everything set up. Get them set up. Make sure I know how to do it. Make sure I can do it. Make sure I'm not putting all my chips into a basket that doesn't actually... This is a tortured metaphor, but, like, you know, don't put all my eggs in one basket until I know that it can work. But I think that even if this season works out nicely, I might actually seriously begin thinking about just moving out there. Just get out of where I am now and just move into a position where I can be closer to the bees, be closer to the whole thing, be more impactful. have more time to be able to really do something and really focus on something. And if this pursuit is at all successful, if I get any amount of honey out of it, I'm going to seriously think about doing that. Not because of any business reason. Like, I'm not sitting here being like, I know how to make a bunch of money, because to me the money is, like, it's so fucking annoying. It's never been anything but a burden on everybody. I don't think there's a single person who has benefited from having money in the society. Certainly not in this configuration. That if money existed, but there was a wealth cap, so it couldn't be hoarded, I think that it would be innocuous. I don't think people would really even think about it, because it would exist in its proper form, which is, like, the only justification that exists for money is that it facilitates complex trade. That's the entire justification for money's existence in our society. And we don't but if it's all hoarded under one person, then it doesn't facilitate that anymore. It's not how it functions anymore. Whereas if you cap it and you say you can't have more than $1 million, and I don't mean $1 million, I mean you can't have more assets than $1 million. If you do, we take it. Like, if you have 3 houses, each valued at $500,000, then you have 2 houses. Like, no wealth hoarding. I don't know why people think that they should be kings. I don't get it. I mean, I get why little kids are little kids, but I don't get why we tolerate it. Yeah, Babylonians used clay and wax tablets for complex trade. Money is just a method of account. Well, my full opinion about money is that it should exist in, like, a room in the Parliament building where one guy's job is to just sort of look at the ledgers and make sure everything is working the way that it should, and to just be like, oh, we've got a bit of a deficit over here, maybe we've got a surplus over here, that's interesting, to communicate those kinds of ideas to the powers that be that are responsible for organizing resources in the society, right? That, to me, is what money should be, and it should exist completely in the background. There shouldn't be anybody, like, people shouldn't be walking around with, like, pocket money. This idea should just not exist. That money should exist in the background. And just a couple of nerds should deal with it. Sven over on Twitch, good to see you, my man. Simply Steve writes, I stopped calling Trump voters by their preferred pronouns if they don't have a call me by mine. I won't call them by theirs. I call MAGA dudes miss and the ladies sir. I mean, the MAGA people are Nazis at this point. There's just no reason to give them any respect. Like, you literally can't reason with them. Yeah, they're just not in that space where they want to listen to what's real in the world. They're just Nazis. The best argument against the accumulation of wealth, this is from Marcus, directly contradicts the best argument for it, giving to your children. The uselessness of wealthy families' adult children is horrifying. Yeah. But yeah, like, capitalists are worthless by their very nature. Like, the very existence of a capitalist is an indication of corruption in your society. Like, these people shouldn't exist. They just shouldn't. Why you have this gatekeeper that exists in your society explicitly so that you can have a gatekeeper in your society. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, what's their role? What's their job? What do they do? How do they facilitate anything? How do they make your life better? And the answer is that they don't. They never have, and they never will. Garden State writes, too many MAGA at my union job. Many dislike the union too. Go figure. Yeah, no shit. Wow, Nazis don't like unions. Who could have put that together? Yeah, the MAGA guys, like, I don't know why we're being polite and calling them MAGA anymore. Like, these guys are Nazis. Like, they're pretty blatantly Nazis. And the like these maggots, they're just like absolutely grotesque people who literally are just like, get those brown people. And there's a bunch of them now that are just like, oh, we went after those brown people and it's made everything worse for us. I really regret going after those brown people. But it's because Nazism is an ideology, right? Like they're not intelligent people. Like they're dim-witted idiots who are shooting themselves in the ass because they're too stupid to understand that the things that they believe are self-destructive. Like, and it is. It's just stupidity. It's just intentional stupidity at this point. That nobody wants to actually take a minute and actually say out loud to themselves, maybe I don't actually know what I'm talking about. Right? Like, the moments in my life where I'm the most successful are the moments where I'm having a little struggle moment with something, and then I think to myself, no, I'm just missing it. I'm just missing it. I'm incorrect. I'm wrong. And then I'm like, okay, if that's the case and the system is working as it's supposed to, then what am I doing wrong? And then I figure it out. The issue is that our social systems are designed to fail. They're designed this way. And they kind of prey off, like this is what Jordan Peterson existed to do. He preyed off of your natural innate desire to self-analyze and self-criticize. That he preyed on that impulse of a person to be like, well, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I could maybe put in a little bit more effort, right? I could put in a little bit more work. He turned your need for rest into a vice, which in my opinion is his greatest sin, that he's going to burn in hell, and that puts him in the lowest ring for sure, is convincing people that their need for rest was somehow a vice, and their desire to not simply exist for productivity was somehow selfishness. Like, inverting the truth on pretty much every single point. Trying to convince you that your subservience to the system is what's important, not the subservience of the system to you. But I mean, they're Nazis, right? So it's all about empowering the state, as long as the state is controlled by them, right? That's the convenience of their ideology. They control the state, and so everything must be subserviated to the state. It's the ideology of a cop. Like, I'm the guy with the gun. Pay attention to the guy with the gun. No one else gets a say. The guy with the gun gets the say. I'm the decider. Heh. And like when Trump goes and when Biden goes, when all of these fucking losers go, like these fucking boomer losers, when they finally go and their money gets handed over to the small group, like there's some justification. Like, I understand the people who are like, but they earned it. There is this idea like, well, they did work and they did like do a thing. Like, they had an idea. Right? But the next generation is just going to be a bunch of, like, sycophantic children. They're just going to be a bunch of, like, self-gratified little kids. Just Joffrey Baratheons, right? Marcus writes, different angle here maybe. I do think we should all exist for productivity, which the criticism for the wealthy and their lack of contribution directly fuels my manifesto. Well, who defines what's productive? Who defines what is productive? Right? It's not us. We don't get to define what is productive. Right? I don't think committing to a genocide and spending billions of dollars on war is productive. Right? No, it's the people who control the money. The money worshippers. Right? Like they're the ones that define what is or is not productive. Like, the existence of these people is not productive. It's the antithesis of production, right? Of being productive, right? Yeah, if it sustains human life, it's productive. Yeah. No, that's why I consider, like, what I'm about to do with this beekeeping stuff, like, even just going out and planting 5 hives and trying to see if I can stabilize it and make it a thing that is something I feel confident moving forward on. Just the act of doing that is more productive than like Elon Musk's entire career, which is just like a total waste of destruction and death. Like what has Elon Musk actually accomplished that like NASA couldn't have accomplished 3 times over? Right? Like Elon Musk is struggling to make the accomplishments that NASA already did happen. It's just total waste from start to finish. And yet we're all supposed to buy into this idea that somehow he's helpful and a great visionary for the future or whatever. Like, one of my favorite moments that I hope I get to witness is that when Elon Musk dies, literally everyone will forget about him the moment he dies. Like, Americans have the have the memory of a goldfish. They lack the capacity to hold on to memory for any amount of time whatsoever. It's how they can fall for the same grifts over and over and over and over again. That you can just lie to them about whatever you want to lie to them about. And even if they uncover that it's a lie, they'll get angry for a minute and then they'll immediately forget all about it. And so you can just run the same grift. Right? It's great. It's perfect for the ruling class. Like, just people who have like permanent amnesia forever. And so my favorite moment that's going to happen with Elon Musk is that he's going to die. All of the newspapers will publish articles about how it's what a loss and a visionary, and they won't be able to tell us what he actually did or why he's an important figure. But they'll all talk about how influential he was and how infamous, and here's the great career of Elon Musk and his enormous contributions to our culture and our civilization, right? And they'll publish all of these articles, and nobody will actually be able to say why Elon Musk was important or why he mattered at all. But they'll all say that he did. And then a week later, everyone will have forgotten who Elon Musk is. And everyone will have moved on to something else. And Elon Musk will just be some idiot, some guy. Yeah, what was it? Space, something about space. That'll be it. It's going to be my absolute favorite. That, like, when this guy dies, everyone will just fundamentally understand collectively together all at once that he was always a worthless person that we should have not been paying attention to. He just was always worthless. And he accomplished nothing. He did nothing. He achieved nothing. All he did was waste everybody's time. Yeah, unless we find a way to sustain our lives, we'll get caught up in the collapse and have nothing to offer to anyone. Yeah. Like, we have to actually think about what does the earth need. That's how I think about it, and that's how I am thinking about it. What does the earth need? What does the earth need? Not how can we save our society, because we can't. Not how do we save capitalism, because we can't. Not how do we make the United States strong, because you can't. Right? Like, the systems we have in place are self-destructive on purpose. That they'll do damage to the earth, but they'll be fatal for humanity. And so I am more or less of the opinion, how do we make it so that when the earth returns to its healing pattern, because it will, like this is the message of hope that I have for anybody, that the earth is just infinitely more powerful than we are. We know almost nothing about the earth. Like, it's actually really pathetic that we think we have mastery over the earth. It's like a really stupid idea. We certainly do not. And right now, all we're managing to do is pulling the earth into imbalance for suitable life for humanity. The earth is fine, right? And the thing I always remind myself is that the earth was a garden before we even got here. It formed itself and it created itself as a garden. to sustain life, to create life, to build life. That's the scientific fact of it. It's completely and utterly undeniable. Whether you're the hardest hardcore atheist or the floofiest theist that exists, the hard truth is that through whatever process you think, the earth generated a garden for us to grow in. Whether you like it or not. And after we destroy ourselves, because that's all we're doing, right? We're destroying ourselves. After we prove to the earth that we are incompatible with life, after our descent into death worship is fulfilled, after we decide to commit mass suicide, which is what this is, the earth will go back into a healing pattern. It'll repair itself. That this sort of childish, mentally anemic idea that we're going to turn the earth into a dust bowl or something is adorable. It's cute. Just this real sweet idea that, oh yeah, we're going to make the earth a big desert and that's how it's going to, like... I mean, the earth was ice for a period of time, but then what did it do? It formed itself into a garden. And sure, maybe for a second it'll be like a dust bowl. Okay, cool, right? And then it'll form itself into a garden. Like, even if we put trillions of tons of nuclear bombs at the core of the earth and then set them off, reducing the planet to rubble, the earth would reform and then it would generate life again. How do I know? Because that's what it did. Like, we have all the evidence in the world to show that that's the case. And the idea that we are somehow going to be the thing that prevents that from happening, only a religious acolyte could believe it. Only somebody who's just utterly detached from investigating the basic facts of reality would believe this. So the earth is going to heal itself. The question is, will we be part of it? And chances are the answer to that will be no. That humanity had its chance. We chose wrong. We chose death. We got entranced by toys, gods of our own making, money, and just fell for the traps of hubris and power. And at first, those sorts of stories are, you know, cautionary tales. You see plays and books written about it because the damage that the humans can do to themselves is fairly small. We lack the capacity to do environmental damage on the scale that's required to eradicate human life. But now we can, and we are. Sven always, over on Twitch says, I always say that we don't design and build planets, so who are these experts? Yeah. No, Sven, my favorite thing is that we're literally like de-terraforming our own planet for our own survival. Like, we're literally making it so that our own planet won't sustain our lives any longer. And we think we're going to go to another planet and terraform it into some kind of paradise and utopia. Like, I just don't... Just something's not clicking there. It's like 1 + 1 = potato thinking. Like, I don't get it. Marcus writes, the hysterical truth behind the rights champion Musk is that just 12 months ago, my Republican acquaintances were calling him a grifter because the grid isn't set up for mass adoption of electrical vehicles. Yeah. Like, and now they love him. Like, it's stunning to see. Long Defiant says, right now, capitalism is sustaining us. We can do better, bypass it. Is it sustaining us? It's sustaining some people. Marcus writes, if humans choose nuclear winter, the half-life of all that radiation would be a blink of time in the universe. Yep. And we will be forgotten. Just another failed attempt for the Earth to generate a species capable of articulating abstraction to itself. Just a failed attempt, right? Just a half-baked attempt, and our legacy will just blow away in sand. And humans will just be completely forgotten and not be part of anything. And the rest of creation will just go along its merry way without us. And honestly, like, from what I'm seeing, it's what we deserve. We don't deserve much better. Like, I don't think humanity deserves a seat at the table of like an intergalactic community or something. Like, it's just what has anybody convinced that we're going to successfully even make something like a moon base? Like, I'm sure the Chinese will get that moon base finished, but the Americans will throw a bunch of shit at it and just blow it up, right? Because they're psychos. They're death knights, that they worship death, and they can't let anybody do something as heinous as build something that they themselves don't build or own. Long Defiance says, sustaining us meaning you bought your food from a capitalist. Yeah, but it was a worker that made that food or picked that food or did that thing. It was the earth itself that created it. The capitalist is just a worthless gatekeeper. He's just in the way. That it's happening in spite of the capitalists. And now the capitalists are starting to act as though they're the reason it's happening. And so they're getting in the way more. And so the thing's falling apart. Because they were always parasites and they were always worthless. They just were smart enough to understand that, like, yeah, just being worthless by 1% or 2% on a multi-trillion-dollar economy is good enough. But now they want the whole pie. Now they want it all. Right? And so they're, like, literally laying off workforces and raising their own pay. Like, it's done. It's finished. It's not going to work. And these guys literally call themselves, like, job creators and stuff. Like, it's just the most obvious religious ideology that exists. That if the capitalists didn't exist at all, like if they all just disappeared overnight, the society would dramatically improve, and it would dramatically improve very quickly. Very, very quickly. Like, it would literally be like workers finally looking at each other being like, oh, I guess we'll just run the place. And that'll be fine. Like, I literally have never worked for a single organization in which the owner of that organization was useful. Like, never once have I seen it. I've never even seen an organization. Like, nobody can even point at an organization in which the owner is actually worthwhile or useful. That the owner is always in the way, is always causing problems, is always a gatekeeper. Enormous amount of resources have to be funneled towards this owner just to deal with the worthlessness of his existence. And he's constantly, like, needing to self-justify his position, and so constantly, like, throwing his weight around, when if he just left, everything would be better. Like, I refuse to give any capitalist anywhere a single inch of territory. These people are worthless. They're not somewhat useful, but we need to move it. They are worthless. Their existence is a burden on all of us. And we would be a billion times better off, infinitely better off, if they simply disappeared. That when we say we'll raise their taxes and they say that they'll leave, our response should be, that would be great. I would really love that if you left. It's like a parasite saying, but if you take the medicine, we'll die. Like, yeah. Long Defiant says, I understand your objection. Workers produced it, but we're still being sustained through the capitalist system. No, I find this phrase offensive. I'm not going to go along with it. We are not sustained through the capitalist system. We are sustained through the systems of Earth and through workers, with capitalists acting as parasites. We are sustained in spite of the capitalist system, not because of it. Never because of it. Never once in the history of capitalism has anyone ever, in any capacity ever, been sustained by any capitalist at any level on any point. 0%. It is in spite of the existence of the capitalists. It is a sign of the resilience of the human systems. It is the sign of the resilience of the systems of the earth. It is the sign of the passion and the dedication and the work ethic of the workers that we are able to sustain these systems in spite of the capitalists. Never once has anyone anywhere experienced 1 millisecond of sustenance from any capitalist anywhere at any time. 0%. Not 0.0000001. 0%. In fact, negative 100%. In fact, negative 100%. That the capitalists have been nothing but a drain on the sustaining systems. That all of our advancements have happened in spite of the capitalists. All of the sustenance that we're able to give everyone has happened in spite of the capitalists, who have done nothing but drain life away from us. They're not just at 0%, they're at negative percentages. And we can have a debate about what negative that looks like, but I'm happy to say they're just a negative drain on the society. They're sustaining fuck all. Their system is a failure. They should be removed. Matt Vandenberg. I don't know if I've ever seen you here before, Matt. Good to see you in either case. What would be the first step in dismantling capitalism, in your opinion? Nationalizing the banks. That's basic communist theory 101. That's straight up Lenin Mao shit. That's just straight up take control, nationalize the banks. Remove their god. Right? Remove from their control their god. Money. So the first step is nationalizing the banks. In my opinion, the second step is raising taxes by 100% on earnings over $1 million. Just literally level the capitalist class. Matt Vandenberg says central banks are like CIBC, RBC. Correct. Yes, all of that. If it is a bank, it is nationalized. No such thing as private banking. Private banking goes away. No banks. Private banking, 0%. We don't need sociopathic institutions destroying the lives of our children in our society. And I even go so far as to say that the people who are working in those banks should be rounded up and there should be trials. Like, these people are obvious psychopathic criminals who should do significant serious jail time for the crimes that they've done. And I was just following orders doesn't cut it. Like, these people are criminals. They should have their institutions removed. They've lost the right to govern. That's the CIBC, that's the RBC, that's the TD Bank, right? That's the Chase Manhattan Bank. Like, that's hedge funds like BlackRock. Like, financial institutions should be nationalized across the board. It should be a crime to operate as a bank, as a private institution. Like a high crime, like treason. Like, destroy these people. I don't understand why we're pussyfooting around it. I don't understand why we're dickering with this. These people have lost the right to govern. They are psychopathic war criminals, obviously profiteering off of the destruction of the species and of genocide. We should remove power from them completely. They should not have a say in what happens in our society, full stop, period. And I am of the opinion that at this point, if you believe otherwise, then you're probably just a collaborator. Like, the Nazis had collaborators. Our Nazis have collaborators. So, nationalize the banks, nationalize the financial institutions, send these people to prison, and then begin the process of nationalizing the resources, so like the fossil fuel industry, the mines, the agricultural sectors. Remove these capitalists from power completely. Give them no assets. Literally raise taxes on holdings over $1 million by 100%. Just destroy these people. Like, literally eliminate them from the discourse completely. Goodbye. You've lost the right to govern. Oh, the rich people feelings. Yeah, Matt, what are we going to do about the rich people feelings? Damn, what about the rich people feelings? This little measure of how rich people think things are going. This absolutely pointless, meaningless measure that does nothing whatsoever, except act as a casino. Yeah, super important. Super important thing that we definitely should have. Flush. Like, I have absolutely no respect for any of these organizations or institutions. They have lost their credibility completely. There's no credibility to be had. I'm yet to hear an argument that says why I'm supposed to believe that these organizations have credibility. Like, it just seems to me like everybody's walking around being like, well, but that's the way we've always done it. When we were eradicating the First Nations people, we had a strong, robust stock market, I tell you what. Like, I'm over it. Nothing that these capitalists have done is worth keeping. Their ideas are bad, and they should be removed from power. Fully. No exceptions. There's no such thing as a nice capitalist who is super sweet, and we should definitely listen to what they have to say. Marcus, trials is such a nice worded implication. Well, yeah. We still believe in the idea of due process. We still believe in sitting these people down and being like, so, you found out that climate change was going to be a significant problem in the 1980s, and then you funded a bunch of propaganda to lie to everybody about it for decades and decades. You did that. That's not a question. So please explain to me, why don't we just bury you under a jail? Like, those are the types of questions these people should be asked. Like, why don't we hang you in the center of town? Like, why don't you explain that to me? Like, this is serial mass murderers we're looking at. Like, we're not looking at people who are like, oopsie doopsie. We're not looking at people who are like, I'm a hard-working man trying my best. We're looking at, like, masochistic sadists, serial killers, pedophiles, rapists. Like, the absolute dregs of society. Like, the types of people who are literally, like, privatizing long-term health care homes in order to plunge your grandparents into despair so that they can make money for themselves by doing nothing important at all. Like literally feed them less so I can make more money kind of thinking. I just don't see any reason whatsoever why we should talk about these people as if they have credibility. Like, that's the part about it that I find so insulting. That's the part about it that's so insulting, is that we're supposed to discuss them as though they have credibility, as though they have righteousness in the position, and that we're like, I'm sorry, sir, but I have a complaint. I have a minor. I wish that you would. Can we discuss? These people have zero credibility, negative credibility. Like, it is every single day, from my perspective, it is a miracle that these people make it to their jobs and then leave and go home to their jobs. Unharassed, no problems happen to them. That to me is stunning. That's a minor miracle every single day. That's literally the forces of Lucifer erecting like a shield around them, near as I can tell. The fact that the head of these financial institutions are not routinely mobbed by people with knives staggers me. I'm stunned by it. It just shows you that there's this like enormous propaganda success that has happened in the culture, where people are just like in a state of total stupor. We've been stupefied. Like that's really what it is. That we've been stupefied. That any other group of people in human history would literally have gathered weapons and gone to their houses and killed them in their sleep by now. Like, we've seen that. That any group of respectable people would at this point literally be like in front of the Parliament building with torches and pitchforks as mobs and just be like, you don't get to rule anymore. You don't get to rule anymore. Like, you don't get to govern anymore. Marcus writes, strange coincidence that Luigi has been charged with federal terrorism instead of plain homicide. Yeah, they're trying to make a example of him, right? And I mean, it is just a full admission that these corporations are state enterprises, right? They're just state enterprises where the business has control of the state and not the other way around, right? So he attacked a federal institution essentially by fighting back. And my suspicion is that they'll just get him. Like, they'll just do whatever. Like, there's no, again, like, there's just no credibility in the system at all. Like, I can tell when I say this. Like, I think some of you agree with that, but I can tell that there are probably some of you out there who are like, well, there is this, there is that, and there's this making room, this self-gaslighting. Like, that's really what it is. There's just this self-gaslighting that's going on, where people are still trying to make space to allow for the justification of this system to continue for some reason. And I just don't. Like, if you made the most delicious sandwich you've ever seen in your life and then added like a spoonful of shit to it, would you still eat the sandwich? Just literally lay a nice little dog turd right in the middle of your sub. Would you still mow down on that sandwich? It's mainly delicious. That's what I hear when I hear people trying to like fight for capitalism. I'm like, nah. A single drop of this. No. No, thank you. That everything we're seeing, like, I think that China is the best example of this. Like, China's experiencing this like massive growth, just this absolute massive growth and this absolute massive economic spurring, right? And it's all happening in spite of capitalism. That they have this albatross around their neck because of the Vietnam War and because of the fallout from the Vietnam War and the fallout from their from the Sino-Soviet split and all of this. So they have this capitalist albatross nailed on their neck. But the entire time they've been like, okay, we have to control this. We can't just allow a free market to exist in our society. That's not serious. And so they've constantly been in a state of negotiation with foreign capital the entire time. And they've experienced massive growth because of it. Because they've had to negotiate with these guys at gunpoint, essentially. So now they're finally coming to a point where, oh yeah, our Navy is going to be twice the size of the American Navy. Like, the Chinese are building ships like crazy. That's something that I just think that, like, what are the Americans going to do? Like, we're not talking about, like, the Chinese have 100 ships and the Americans have 100 ships. Well, what quality and what tactics and also, like, the Americans are going to roll in with 100 ships and the Chinese will have 200. Like, it's not difficult to see what happens given those numbers. And my hope for China is that they start doing what I call pruning the garden. That's what I call it. Pruning the garden. Right? The Chinese have built a nice place for themselves. And they've done it because they're communists having to deal with this albatross around their neck, these capitalists. And they've been making the best of it. And they've been working... they've been outworking the capitalists. That the capitalists have been trying to do the grift on the Chinese, and it never worked. They never fell for it. That they stuck to their guns. And they're like, no, we understand what the basis of a society is, and we understand how to build a successful civil society. We've been doing it for thousands of years, as the Chinese. Right? But now we have this, like, new arrangement that we have to deal with called capitalism. Okay, cool. And so now they've built for themselves a really lovely garden. But the garden is full of, like, the Gap and McDonald's and, like, all these shitty global chains that are just pointless. And eventually all of those chains will go bankrupt. Because that's what capitalists do. Right? They siphon wealth out of an enterprise until it dies. That the only reason why capitalists build an enterprise is to ultimately vulture capitalist it and destroy it for their own profit. Like, the point of capitalism is to ruin as many lives as possible. Whether it's through slavery or abandonment. That's the point. That's how you make the most amount of money as a capitalist. And the more you can get people attached to it, the more you can get people reliant on it, the more brutal it is when you abandon them and bankrupt the place. And then you get to go to the government and be like, we have to save this institution. I need bailouts. And because you're bribing the guy in the first place, he's going to give you those bailouts. And so you're rewarded for bankrupting the place. Whereas the Chinese will just say, you are bankrupt. Goodbye. And if it's actually important, it's not just like a fucking burger shack or something. If it's actually important, they'll just take it over. They've done that. And they'll continue to do that. And maybe at the end of my life, I'll begin to see a China that is really actively beginning the process of sloughing capitalism off. Actively being like, yeah, these private organizations are not working for the benefit of our people anymore. So bye-bye. I'll begin to see that at the end of my life, I'm sure. Or who knows, maybe China will just go full-blown. It'll just be like, haha, Scooby-Doo reveal, we were fascists the whole time. Marcus writes, China is building predominantly warm water ships as well, which are defensive in range. Yet they're only preparing as a porcupine against the West. Yeah. Look, I think one of the main differences between the West and China is that the West says, we're the greatest culture in the world, so you need to be like us. That means that we get to export democracy around the world. We get to liberate people from the bounds of tyranny, even though we're the ones that funded that tyranny in the first place, but okay. Whereas the Chinese say, we're the greatest country in the world. We're the greatest culture in the world. So stay away. Get out of here. We don't want you. We don't want you over here. We're the best. I think that's an important distinction. Because it is fundamentally like inward looking. It's fundamentally the idea that we don't need to project our power into the world and try to make people more like us. We're like us. And we will only cause problems for ourselves by going all over the place, gallivanting through warfare. Like, we're only going to cause problems for ourselves doing that. And so they don't. Like, they're civilized. They're a civilization. We're just a bunch of businesses in a trench coat. Like, Canada was literally set up by a queen and a fur trading company. And the fur trading company is bankrupt, closing all their stores now. Queen is dead. The king doesn't have any power. we declared our independence. So, like, what is this? Like, what is Canada? What is America? What are these things? Why do we care if Canada exists? Why do we care if America exists? The only reason anybody should care about these entities existing is because they're doing something to make your life better. Well, sincerely ask yourself, in all seriousness, is the American federal government making your life better? I'm going to end it there. Always remember, guys, each and every one of you is a quantum being, walking around in quantum energy. These billionaires are spending hundreds of billions of dollars in the hopes you'll never realize it. You'll just stay the good little commodity they need you to be. Rebel. Revolt. Repent. Good luck. We're going to need it.